Countdown for blast off. X minus 5, 4, 3, 2, X minus 1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million could-be years on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction, presents
X minus 1.
Tonight's story, To the Future, by Ray Bradbury. Time is an interesting phenomenon. A ticking clock, the running sands of an hourglass. All these have captured the imagination of men. But time is more. It exists now, and then, and in the future. Suppose we are in the year 1955. Coexistent in time may be worlds we have never seen, the worlds of the past and of the future. The year 1955. It was a spring night in Mexico, fiesta time. The fireworks shot up into the clear, dark sky, and a papier-mâché bull ran about the plaza chasing boys and laughing men. Mr. and Mrs. William Travis stood on the edge of the yelling crowd, smiling.
Bill, what is it? What are they saying?
They're cheering for the bull. Here he comes. He's good, isn't he? Look how they rigged that fire breathing.
Bill, it's wonderful. I've never enjoyed myself so much in my life.
It's terrific. They caught the bull. Bravo, Toro!
Bill, it will go on, won't it? I mean, our trip.
Sue, don't worry. I've got enough traveler's checks for a lifetime. Relax.
No, but suppose they find us.
Forget it. They haven't a chance.
But suppose they do. Suppose they take us back.
They'll never find us. Oh, relax. Enjoy yourself.
If it only lasts.
Come on. Let's get out of the crowd, huh? You need a drink.
Let's try something different this time. I want to try every drink there is in the world.
Don't worry. There's no rush. We've got plenty of time now. In here. There's a table over there. Come on.
Bill.
What's the matter?
Don't look right away.
Huh?
Over your left shoulder, right by the end of the bar. That man.
What is it?
I saw him this morning in the plaza.
Take it easy. The town's full of tourists.
He was at Juarez and at Tasco. Bill, I'm afraid.
Don't stare at him. Come on.
I know it's the same man. He was wearing the same white suit.
Sit down, Sue. Come on, dear. Smile. Act natural.
Bill, he's been following us. He's a searcher. I know he is.
Quiet. Here, boy.
Si, senor.
Benedictine and brandy, too.
Si, senor.
He's been watching us, Bill.
Pull yourself together,
They
Susan.
can't take us
Will
back.
you quit worrying? The chances are 1 in 1,000 that they found us. It's probably just a coincidence.
I want to lie down. I think I'm going to be sick.
Susan, hang on, will you? If he is looking for us, we can't run out. It'd attract attention.
We must have slipped up when we checked out in New York.
What's he doing now?
Stopped our waiter. He's asking him something.
Well, may just want a drink.
Bill, I can't stand it. I've got to go upstairs and lie down.
All right. As soon as we finish our drinks. What's he doing now?
He's nodding at me. As if he knows me. He's smiling. Bill, he's coming over here.
Watch yourself. We've got to go right on in front of him, so if he is what we think he is, he won't suspect.
I can't.
We've got to. Come on. So I said to David, that's absolutely ridiculous. What do you...
Mr. Christian, you did not pull up your pants leg when you sat down.
What? I'm afraid you've got the wrong person. My name isn't Chrysler.
Kristen.
Oh. I'm William Travis. I don't see what my pants leg has to do with it.
Mind if I sit down? See, everyone nowadays pulls up his pants leg when he sits down. Like this. See, it keeps the trousers from bagging at the knees. But, of course, if you're not used to this style of clothing...
Now, see here, we don't know you.
You don't? I'm sorry. I thought I knew you.
This is our table, if you don't mind.
You see, I'm looking for two friends of mine. A man and his wife. Very much like you. The man is an atomic scientist. The wife, a bacteriologist. Very important people. They work on government business.
What are you talking about?
And when I find my friends, I'm going to take them home with me.
Look here, Mr.
Sims. That will do for now.
Well, look, I understand you thought you knew us, but you see you're mistaken. If you'll excuse us, my wife and I were just going up to our room. We have to make an early start in the morning.
Oh, going for a trip? Acapulco, perhaps? Oh, a lovely spot.
Never mind where we're going.
Yes, of course. You don't like crowds, tourists. Probably like to get off the beaten path. You know, I have a vacation folder here that might interest you.
Please, Bill, let's go.
It's put out by an outfit that calls itself Travel in Time, Incorporated.
Travel in time?
Yes. They've come up with a rather intriguing idea. Here. Travel in Time, Incorporated can costume you, put you in the crowd at any place and time in history. We guarantee to teach you any language you need to move freely in any year without risk of detection. This summer, why not escape from the worries of our modern world? Take your vacation in time.
That's impossible, of course.
But think what it would mean. A chance to escape all the tensions of an unpleasant life, war, insecurity, fear. Suppose you were a scientist working on a dangerous bomb project. Or you, Mrs. Travis. Suppose you were a bacteriologist working on disease cultures, and you had a chance to escape all that, to take a vacation 200 years in the past. It would be wonderful, wouldn't it? To escape to a more peaceful world. A trip back to 1955.
1955? But you said a vacation in the past.
So I did. But you see, 1955 is the past. If you come from the year 2155.
2155?
Yes. Terrible times. Most unpleasant. A war raging. An atomic, bacteriological war. Terrible times. With none of the little comforts we enjoy today. Like this fine Havana cigar.
Well, I want to go upstairs. I want to lie down.
If you were living then, think of how wonderful it would be to take a vacation in time. Back to now. Suppose a young couple like yourselves took a trip to 1955 and didn't want to come back. Do you know what would happen? The government sends a searcher back to look for them.
This is all fantastic
The
nonsense.
searcher finds them and brings them back. Back to that miserable, insane, stark, pleasureless world of 2155. A pity, isn't it?
Look here, Sims.
Do you think I shall find my two friends, Mr. Travis?
Bill, please take me upstairs. I don't feel well.
Oh, is the lady feeling a bit ill? How unfortunate.
Here are the drinks, senor.
Ah. Well, shall we drink a toast? To 2155. To the future.
Inside. Inside, quick.
What are you doing?
Shoving a chair under the doorknob.
He knows. He's been following us. He's a searcher.
Look, keep quiet, Sue. I want to
They're
think.
going to take us back.
It isn't over yet. I've got a headache.
I'll get you an aspirin. What will they do to us?
I don't know. Something slipped. Something must have slipped.
But we were so careful.
The searchers are trained to watch for detail. Things like not pulling up my trousers. Started them thinking, there's a man who isn't used to ancient clothes. I could kill myself for giving it away.
No, it was my walk. These high heels. Here.
Thanks. The nerve of that Sim sitting there looking us up and down like animals, smoking those stinking cigarettes.
I know, that's how I first noticed him at Tasco. He had 4 bottles of liqueurs and a pile of chocolates.
Yes, he still hasn't gotten over that first greedy hunger. We've got to look out for that. It's the sure sign of somebody from the future. Trying to make up for a lifetime of shortages by stuffing yourself sick. Remember our first night?
Bill, I can't stand it. We've got to get out of here.
What are you doing?
Packing. Get the suitcases up.
It's no use.
What do you mean? We can get to Acapulco by morning.
Don't you think he's watching us?
We could get away.
No. We've got to sit tight. Maybe he isn't sure of us yet. Maybe we can still figure out some way to escape. Come on now. We'll need our strength. We'd better try to get some sleep.
No, I won't go back. Security, pull it. The bomb is falling and killing.
Sue, what's the matter?
No,
Sue.
no.
Sue, wake up, Sue. Sue.
Bill, where are we?
It's all right. Calm down, honey. We're still in 1955. It's all right.
Oh.
You must have had a nightmare.
Oh, Bill, it was awful. We were back there, 2155. Oh, Bill, we won't go back there, will we ever?
Go
Tell
back to
me.
sleep, honey. It's all right. We're in Mexico, 1955, and we're going to stay here. Sue, I've been lying awake here thinking. He's still testing us. He's not absolutely certain. He's got all the time in the world. He can stay here as long as he likes. And then bring us back to the future 60 seconds after we left it.
They can't make a scene, can they? They don't dare come out in the open.
No. It might change the future. They're afraid of that.
Bill, if we could only tell somebody, ask for
You
help.
know we can't. That's why we had to submit to the psychological block treatment before they okayed our vacation. We couldn't tell if we tried. The block's too strong.
Maybe we can break it, Bill.
What's the use, darling? Who'd believe a crazy story like ours? Who'd believe we come from 2155? No, we can't tell. And they'll have to get us alone to put us in the time machine to send us back.
Then that's it, Bill. We'll never be alone. It's still fiesta tomorrow. It'll be easy to stay in the crowd.
Yes, that's the only chance. We can't let him get us alone. He won't get us back to that war and that insane world.
Bill.
Could be the room clerk.
At 3 in the morning?
I'd better answer.
Don't, Bill, don't.
I've got to. Hello? Hello?
Mr. Travis?
What's the idea? It's 3 in the morning.
Yes. I just wanted to remind you, the rabbits may hide in the forest, but a fox can always find them.
What was it, Bill? Bill.
Never mind. Come on. Let's get some sleep while we can.
Buenos dias, senor y señora.
Morning, Senor Gomez.
I trust you are spending pleasant days in my hotel. Fiesta time is the best.
Yes, it's been lovely.
Your special table is all ready for breakfast.
Hey, where in blazes the hotel? You, Buster, where's the hotel in this godforsaken sinkhole of a one-horse town? All the blighted deserts of the whole stinking country. I had to
all that
pick
racket?
up a blighted
Oh, great
town,
excitement,
stinking
very
away.
great.
What is it?
They come with 4 trucks and innumerable automobiles. A motion picture company from Hollywood.
Oh, what are they doing down here?
They make the pictures
the
of our
hotel?
fiesta for the
Where's the
background.
manager, huh?
That fat man, the one with the most colorful shirt, he is the chief,
Manager!
the director.
Manager! Where's the manager of this Adobe Fleabag?
Coming, senor. You will excuse me, senor. I hope the table is satisfactory. Coming, senor.
This is a break, Sue. That movie company will draw crowds, and that helps us.
When can we leave, Bill?
Oh, not today. He'd be...
Okay, kids, end of the line. Ciao. Get it up, Maxwell, and lay off the pepper. I got a note, sir.
Bill, there's Sims across the dining room.
I can't do anything now, not with these actors coming in.
Gloria, you sit next to Papa. Max, make sure nobody monkeys with the trucks and the gear.
Right, Chief. Do we have to eat at this crummy joint, Joe?
Cheer up, sweetie. Your mere presence makes this chastens and truck roll into one.
No, not this early in the morning, Joe. I couldn't stand it.
Okay. Anything you want, laddies. It's on the dear old expense account.
They look happy, don't they?
There's an idea. Maybe I could hire two of them. I could say it was a joke.
Why?
We could dress them in our clothes, have them drive off in our car sometime when Sims couldn't see their faces.
Where would that get us?
With him off on their trail, we might make it to Mexico City. It'd take years to find us there.
Wait, that movie man's coming over.
Excuse me, you folks are Americans, aren't you?
That's right.
Boy, am I glad to see you. I'm so sick of hearing Spanish, I could kiss you. Hey, come on over and eat with us, huh?
Well, I don't think we should intrude.
Oh, come on. Misery loves company. I'm Misery, and that's the company. We're from Hollywood.
So I understand.
Yeah, boy, would I like to be there. I'm Joe Melton. I'm the director.
I'm William Travis. This is my wife, Susan.
Mutual. Come on over, kids. Join the party. Cheer us up. Only no tamales. I burned out 3 kidneys on tamales since I came over the border. Boy, am I funny, huh?
Wonderful.
Well, come on over. Hey, kiddies, I got new blood. Brother Yanks.
Just a moment, Mr. Travis. I thought you might be breakfasting with me, alone.
Sorry.
I got him first, Mac. You want to join us?
No, I've already ordered. Mr. Travis, I think you'd better talk with me.
Say,
now.
Is this guy giving you trouble?
It's all right.
Then I say the word, and I'll have Max pitch him out in his ear.
No, it's all right. We'll be right over, Mr. Melton.
Bill.
We'll talk to Mr. Sims. Mr. Melton, you sort of keep an eye on us, huh? After all, you found us first.
Yeah, sure. Well, come on over soon, kids.
Sit down, Mr. Travis. I hope you slept well.
Did you?
Well, I'm not used to spring mattresses, but there are compensations. I stayed up half the night trying new cigarettes and foods. A whole new spectrum of sensation, these ancient vices. We miss something in our world, don't we? And when we get back here, we try to cram it all in a few short days.
We don't know what you're talking about.
Still acting, eh? But it's no use. You can't stay in crowds all the time. I'll get you alone soon enough. I'm immensely patient. However, let's come to the point. You know we can't let you get away with this escape. Other people in the year 2155 might get the same idea and do the same thing. And we need people.
To fight your wars?
Bill.
It's all right, Susan. We can talk on his terms now. He's got us. We can't escape.
Oh, at last. Really, you've been incredibly romantic, running away from your responsibilities.
Running away from horror.
Oh, nonsense. Only a war.
Only? With half the world dead and the other half dying?
Yes, but we can't have you escaping here while we drop off a cliff. Dying people love to know that others died with them.
Hey, kids, break it up. We're waiting on you.
The longer you keep me waiting, the harder it will go on you.
What do you mean?
We need you on that bomb project. Return now, and no torture.
Torture?
Yes. You see, later we'll force you to work, and after you finish the bomb, we'll try a number of complicated new devices on you.
Yeah.
As you say, you can't escape. We have all the time in the world here.
Sims, I'll make a deal with you. I'll come back now. If my wife stays here, alive, safe, away from that war.
No, Bill,
Keep
no.
quiet, Sue. Well, Sims, you need me for that bomb. You can duplicate her work.
It exceeds my authority, but, all right. Meet me in the plaza in 10 minutes.
All right. I'll pick you up in the car.
Good. We'll drive out into the country to some deserted spot, and I'll have the time travel machine pick us up.
Bill, I won't let you.
Don't argue, dear. It's settled. Sims, there's one thing.
Yes?
Last night, instead of calling, you could have broken into our room and got us. Why didn't you?
Shall we say that I was enjoying myself? Take this new fine cigar, for example. Wonderful. Wonderful. Do you know that I have 12 boxes up in my room? And liqueurs, creme de menthe, Benedictine, creme de coca, and so many others. And the wine. Oh, I've got the closets full of them. And I shall so hate to leave it all. Well, I'll meet you in the plaza in 10 minutes. Your wife may stay here as long as she wishes.
All right, Sims, it's a deal.
Don't try anything now, Travis.
I know when I'm beat. We just want a few minutes to say goodbye.
I shall be seeing you then.
Bill, I won't let you do it. I won't let you.
Oh, please,
I'm going to
Susan.
tell the truth. I'm going to get help.
You can't. The psychological
We've
block
got to
is-
try. It's our last chance.
Hey, hey, aren't you two going to join us? I
Mr.
thought...
Melton, I've got something to tell you, and you've got to believe me.
won't work,
I've
Sue.
got to try.
Now, go ahead, kid. Spill it.
You've got to understand. You see, we really... Bill. Oh, my head.
Huh?
I can't think. My head.
Say, you need a bromo, honey.
Can't work, Sue. The block's too strong. We better get the car.
Bill. Bill, please.
Someone's crying.
Somebody, please.
Breakfast, no time for people to cry. Now, what in the world could a good-looking kid like you find to cry about?
Bill, I won't let you do it.
Don't make it hard, Susan.
Let me go back with you. We'll get through some way.
You think I'd let you go back to that war? Sue, please stop. We haven't got much
It
time.
was so wonderful here, Bill. Bill, please.
There he is, smoking those Turkish cigarettes, waiting for us.
There must be some way we can both stay here.
Maybe there is.
Bill, what are you going to do?
Hang on, Sue, and duck when I tell
No,
you.
Bill, you're heading right for him.
He's not going to get either of us now. Down, Sue, down.
Bill.
It's all right, darling. It's all right.
Oh.
It's all over. Darling, this is the mayor.
Senora, your husband has been officially cleared in this most unfortunate affair. It is obvious this senor seems died of an unavoidable accident.
An accident? Oh, yes, of course.
Adios, senor, senora.
Will they want to see you again?
No. No, I'm clear.
Oh.
I lost control of the car. That's the way it stands. Sue, I hated to kill him. I've never wanted to do anything like that in my life.
Where shall we go now? Mexico City?
The car's in the repair shop. Won't be ready till 4. And we'll get out.
Hey there, Travis. Wait up.
Oh, it's that movie man, Bill. He was very good to me when they had you in there.
Hey, I heard what happened. They sprung you, huh? Great.
Yes, it was an accident.
Well, lucky you didn't get hurt yourselves. Everything okay now?
Yes, I think so.
It's fine. But you both look a little rocky. Say, you want to get your mind off your troubles. We're through for the day. Clouds fouled up our shooting schedule. We're going to put a header on it up at the hotel. Gloria's cracking the ice now.
Well, maybe we will join you. But first I've got to check up on the car.
Well, don't miss the party, kiddies. See you upstairs.
Bill, I don't think...
Relax, honey. We've got the break now. Sims is dead. Before they can put another searcher on our trail, we'll have time to make a clean getaway.
How about the car?
We won't be ready till 4. We've got a couple of hours to kill.
I'm so tired.
What you need is a little excitement. We rate a celebration, honey.
Well, I guess it would be nice to unwind.
Sure. We'll go up to Melton's room, have a couple of drinks, a few laughs. Don't worry, honey. It's all over. We can relax.
Well, kitty.
Well, we thought we'd join you, Mr. Melton.
Great. Call me Joe. Gloria, yank it on the cork. We got company.
Way ahead of you. Here you are, kid.
You kids ready to drink? That was a pretty messy business, but it's all over now, huh?
Yes, it's all over.
Time to unlax. Grab a glass, honey.
Thank you.
Hey, quiet, everybody. Quiet. How about a toast to our guests?
Well, sure.
How about it, huh? Okay. All right. To a very beautiful lady. Lovely enough for the movies.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm not kidding. That's why I came over to you in the first place. I might even give you a test. Oh, I mean it, honey. You're pretty nice. I could make you a movie star.
And take me to Hollywood?
At least it'd get us out of Mexico.
You're not serious.
Well, sure I am. Gloria, how about a refill?
Yeah, coming up.
That sounds wonderful, doesn't it, Bill?
Los Angeles is a pretty crowded city, isn't
Crowded? Hey, wait till you see the sunset buzz.
Well, you don't really think I'm an actress, do you? You don't have to cheer me up anymore. I'm feeling wonderful now.
No, I'm serious.
it? Really? Well, what kind of a film do you think my wife would be good for?
Well, I want to do a suspense story. Sort of a war story, you know. Gloria, pour Mr. Travis another glass. A story about a man and a wife. You live in a little house. I'm just ad-libbing this, you understand?
Sure. Go on.
There's a war on, see? A terrible war, you see. And they live in the year, 2155.
Yeah.
Now, here's the gimmick. They escape into the past, and they kill a man who follows them to bring them back. Gloria Honeypot, get Mr. Travis another glass. He dropped his. Well, sir, this couple takes refuge with a group of movie people. Safety in numbers, they figure.
Yeah.
But the story goes on. This couple is terribly important for a new bomb. Let's call it the leprosy bomb. So the searchers figure out a way that they can get them alone in a hotel room. Shove a chair under the door now, Max.
Yes, sir.
You see, the searchers may work alone, or in groups of 8, so that if one of them's killed, the rest carry on. Don't you think that'd make a wonderful picture, huh, Susan? Don't you, Bill?
Get up when you get us, Milton. Stand still.
Look out!
Put that gun down, Travis.
Mr. Travis. Mr. Travis.
Who is it?
The manager. Your car is all ready. Shall I...
Grab him!
Let go of me. Let go!
Let's not make things worse, Mr. Travis.
Let me in. What were those shots? Let me in.
The manager, he heard the shots. Let's get going.
Let go of me.
Let me in there. Let me in.
He'll break down the door in a minute. Max, get ready to travel.
Get a chair.
Take a good look, Mr. Travis. Take a good look at 1955. You won't be seeing it anymore.
Bill!
Throw the switch!
All right. Break it down. Who shot that? Where are they?
I was at the door. I heard them inside.
They're gone. The windows. No, the iron bars are undisturbed. What happened to them? They just disappeared, all of them.
Senor, I think you had better send for the priest and the holy water.
Later. They just disappeared.
Look in the closet. Bottles. Hundreds of bottles. And boxes of 20 peso pure Havana filled cigars. These crazy Americanos. Why would anyone leave all this behind?
Juan, never question providence. Bien. There is enough here to last us both for a month. I think we can look forward to a most happy future.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction. Tonight, by transcription, X-1 has brought you To the Future by Ray Bradbury. It was adapted for radio by Ernest Kenoy. Featured in the cast were Terry Keane, Alexander Scourby, Mercer McLeod, Joe DeSantis, Guy Sorrell, Alan Collins, and Stan Early. This is Fred Collins speaking. X-1 was directed by Daniel Sutter and is an NBC Radio Network production.
Next week on X-1, Ray Bradbury's story, Marionettes Incorporated. It's groomed for your interests. Weekday, NBC Radio.
Good morning, weirdos. You know when that horn chimes do-whack-a-doo, it's time for me and you. Well, howdy. Hi there. Hey, hi, howdy. How are you? I'm wiped out, man. The alarm went off this morning, and I was like, I need my snooze time. And then I just laid there. And just laid there. And just laid there some more. But here I am. Up listening to X-1, and what an awesome show. One of my favorite shows of all old-time radio is X-1. We are on episode... what is the episode of the day? Something. So it's Wednesday. That means that To the Future, the one that we heard this morning, is going to premiere this morning at 8. So you can tune in and check that out if you missed it this morning. It'll be coming up at 8 o'clock.
Yes, sir, Papa Rudy. Oh, yeah, buddy. Bubber. Hey, Bubber. Come on now, Bubber.
Things are looking up a skirt. Things are looking up. Looking up the skirt of life. Well, after, what was it, two or three attempts, I finally got a movie uploaded for next Friday. So now I have the entire week programmed next week. Now I can put it all on a programming guide and get it to you. And I'm working on, I have everything programmed for next week except for the movie and a couple of 4 o'clock time slots. The 8 o'clock movie and Wednesday and Thursday at 4. I'm thinking on trying to find some ABC after school specials to fill in that 4 o'clock Wednesday spot. I think that'll be cool. I'm trying to double up on the movies on Friday. I've got a 4 o'clock movie, and then I've got an 8 o'clock movie. So yeah, and then anytime during the week at 4, you could find an educational movie popping up somewhere here and there and everywhere.
Yes, sir, Bubber. Come on, Bubber. Bubber.
I'm wiped, man. So yesterday, I slept pretty darn good during the day. Last night I got a couple of hours. I might have rubbed a couple of hours together. But I didn't get to bed till after midnight last night. And, of course, I just kind of flopped around. Got up 3 times to take a fucking leak. Of course, the last time I got up to take a leak was like 20 minutes before my alarm. So I floundered for 10 minutes, then slept for 10 minutes, and then snoozed for 5 minutes. Man. Yeah. Totally. Yep. I guess me standing up for myself and being my own me, finally, has alienated my family. The only family I have on my side, actually. But, you know, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You know, I got to be me. I can't be their version of me, you know, my entire fucking life. And I've been their version of me, you know, since I can fucking remember. So I want to be me. And I want to be seen as me. And that's difficult for some people sometimes, I guess. I mean, it's not for me to see people, you know, how they are. You know, it's like every time I meet someone or talk to someone again, I try to give everyone the benefit of the doubt, like this is the first time, you know. So anything you're telling me, I'm going to absorb as if you know, it's the first time, you know. I can only send so many messages saying, hey, what's going on, man? Before I just decide, you know what, I guess nobody gives a shit what's fucking going on. You know? Nobody gives a fuck. You know, I can only look into people's eyes so many times and see them glaze over with, you know, oh, that's him, huh? You know, I can only do that so many times before I just have to stand up and say, you know what, give me a fucking break. I'm me. I'm not the me that you see, you know, that little tiny crumb of me that exists in your head that makes up, you know, the whole picture of who I am to you. You know, that's not it, you know. It's just not it. That's not me. That's not me at all. That's not even a tiny little portion of me. That's some little thing that you've held on to because that makes you think that that's me. Right? It just don't fly anymore. It just don't. You know, I got friends, people who have known me forever, who think they know me because, you know, they have this one little image of me trapped in their head, and that's all they're ever going to see of me. That's all they want to see. You know, they don't want to see the real me. You know, what are you going to do? You know, I got to be me. That's all there is to it. So yeah, I'll be reaching out at some point in the next day or so when I know for sure that I'm going down. I don't want to call people and say, hey man, I'm coming down, you know, and get ready. And then, oh man, something came up, I can't come down. Oh man, I'm not feeling it today. So I gotta get a little closer. Today's Wednesday, so probably tomorrow I'll be hitting a few people up and saying, hey man, if you're around at this time, at this place, I'm gonna be there. I was hoping to go down on the weekend. More than likely, if I'm lucky, I'll run into one person. You know, it's not my thing to go down to Elsinore to hang out with people for hours or something. That's not the point of the trip. I'll be lucky to hang out with somebody for an hour if I'm really, really lucky, right? But I don't have time to schmooze. This is a pre-schmoozing trip, you know. So there's that. Yep. Yeah. Still lost. Still fucking lost. You know, if you want to know what's going on in somebody's life, stay in touch. You know, I mean, I have literally sent 10 times more messages out to people than I've received back in response, and that's, you know, that goes to show you how important you are in the scheme of things. And then, you know, through the grapevine, somebody will hear, oh well, maybe he's got a medical situation going on. And then people start calling up, wondering, what's going on? What's going on? It's like, well, you know, you want to know what's going on? Call once in a while. Answer my fucking texts, you know. No, I don't feel comfortable talking personally about myself with people who don't want to involve themselves personally in my life. I mean, that's the way it is. You know, I'm really. The last few years, I've been going out of my way to get personally involved in my friends and family's lives, and most of the time I just get shut down, you know, because people see me as some, you know, as that freak that image they have in their head of me, right? And there you go. That's all there is to it. Yeah, sure, I have images of people, and I try not to use those as their thumbnail, their icon, you know. It's just not right. It's not fair, you know. When you're, you know, looked down on by everybody, especially friends and family, you know, you get tired of looking up, you know. You don't want to look down, or you just want to look over at people. You don't want to fucking look down on anyone. You don't look up at anyone. You want to be on equal ground. And I've never had that. You know, I've always been looking up. You know, and I'm sick of fucking looking up. Hey, anybody there? Anybody care? Hello? Yeah, we're all fucking dying. What are you going to do about it? You know? It really bugs me when people get all upset over people they hardly know facing end-of-life situations, right? It always reminds me of that little house on the prairie where the old lady is all by herself, and all she wants to do is have her friends and family come visit her, right? But nobody wants to come visit her. Nobody wants to take the time to come visit her. Everybody's too busy. They got other shit going on. You know, she's just not as important as she used to be, right? And so she dies. Well, she fakes her death so that she can get people to come to her funeral, so that she can visit with them, right? And, of course, people are upset. Well, how dare you fake your death to get us to come here? And it's like, well, you know, how dare you? The only time you want to come see someone is when they're dead, and you want to pay your respects. You know what? You're not doing this for that person. You're doing it for yourself. You're doing it out of guilt. You're doing it because you feel bad about something, you know, or you're doing it to make yourself feel better. Well, I went to the funeral. Yeah, well, what about the previous 20 years? Did you say hi? Did you send a letter? Did you call? You know, did you visit? No. But after 20 years, you went to the funeral, so fucking good on you, right? So no. Somebody that I know who is sick and dying, I'm not going to go out of my way to make myself feel better by going to visit them. You know, if they request me to be there, I'll go, right? That means that I'm doing it for them. I'm not doing it for me. I'm doing it for them. You know, you want me to come visit you? I'll come visit you. You know, I'll do it for you. You know, and it'll be for me as well. But I'm not going to just do it for me. Yeah, that's selfish. You know, what people do for themselves is they go to the funerals, right? They go to the aftermath. Nobody wants to, you know, suck it up and go fucking visit people and take the time out of your own precious little lives to go, you know, pay some respects to somebody while they're still fucking alive. Now, well, they don't bother while they're dead, you know. What's the point? Come sniffing around to make yourself feel better. You know, if you haven't had the time to come see me or visit me or even talk to me in the last 20 or 30 or 40 fucking years, well, don't bother coming around talking to my family when I'm gone, right? What's the point? Make yourself feel better? Let them know that, hey, he was so important that we waited until after he was dead to come visit. Give me a fucking break. Once again, people going out of their way to make themselves feel better after the fact. You know, if you ain't got the time to do it, don't fucking pretend to fucking give a shit later. It's pointless. And it's rude, you know. It really is. It's fucking rude. You know, I could have come and visited him while he was still alive, but I'm here now. Give me a break. So no, I'll plan a reunion and hope that I can see as many people as possible if I make it to the fucking reunion, right? If I make it long enough on this planet, this godforsaken earth, if I make it there, it'll be a miracle. I wanted it last year. There's no way it was going to happen last year or the year before. Because it's too short of a notice to plan. So, by the end of this month, I'm going to be coming up with the information on this thing and just sending it out constantly. Here, look, here's a video. Here's the event. Here's some posts. Here's pictures. Somebody come. Anybody. Please. Yep. Am I doing this for selfish reasons? The reunion? Yes and no, of course. Of course, semi-selfish, because I do want to see all of these people. you know. Unselfishly, I just have always wanted the opportunity to see all those faces get together and talk and hang out, you know. Maybe the whole thing is selfish, but in a group setting, maybe, right? Yeah, totally. I've always wanted to have a chance to get together with a lot of people from the past. Of course, I'm going to assume that a lot of the people that I want to be there just won't even show up. They're not even going to give two shits about it because they've moved on. They've grown past me and other people in that whole era, right? Some people are going to be too good for it, right? Well, I'm not going back to Elsinore. I'm never going back to California. Fuck California, man, and fucking shitty fucking. Well, you know what? Then we don't want you, all right? If you can't show up and have a few days of fun with family and friends and stuff, and not be able to get over the fact that you're in California, well, then don't come. Please don't come. We don't need you. We don't need your bitching and griping about high prices and politics and what fucking ever else. We just don't. It's not the venue for that, you know. You want to do that, go stand on the corner with a Trump flag and go, you do that. This is not the place for that. You know. You want to spend a little extra money to come here to California to have fun? Fucking do it. You know, I live here. I spend extra money every fucking day just to exist. All right, I know what the deal is. Do I enjoy it? No. Am I gonna fucking snivel and fucking cry every fucking day about it? No, because it's fucking pointless. If it was that fucking much of a hassle, I'd fucking pick up and leave. But I don't want to leave. This is California. I was born and raised in California. I'm going to die here in California. It's just the way it is. Would I have preferred to move someplace else? Sure. I'd love to move to Colorado or, you know, Idaho or Oregon or something, you know, someplace that's a lot more suitable climate, you know. We got too much shit going on here. We can't just pick up and leave. Other people can just pick up and leave, rehome their dog and reschool their kid and get a new job there. No, I can't do that kind of shit. That's not me. So we sit. Here we are in California, enjoying it, right? Because if you ain't enjoying it, what the fuck? Roll over, put a bullet in your fucking head and get over it. You know? Jesus. Come on. And there are a lot of people that I want to show up who won't. Mainly because we're in California. You know? There are people who are like, fuck, I'll be there. I don't care. You know? It's the way it is. I had friends show up from Virginia, and he's like, man, I thought I was going to come over here, and it was going to be so expensive and everything. And it was like, it wasn't even as bad as Virginia. I mean, come on, everything's a high price over there. I come over here, and it's about the fucking same. What's the big deal? You know? So it ain't all that bad, people. It is what it is. What are you going to do about it? You know? I really feel sorry for those people who don't want to come because of politics, or they don't want to take time off from their job, or, you know, they've already planned to go see, you know, the Bahamas or some fucking other whatever. Well, that's fine. You know, I'm going to do as much as I can on YouTube Live, so the whole thing will be, you know, a live event. I'm really anxious on getting in touch with the musical acts who are going to hopefully be there. So this month here of planning is going to enable me to call all of these people and say, look, I need you for this date. It's a year away. I need it on your calendar. Come hell or high water, you got to be here. You know? And I'll put together a budget for music, a budget for food. There's really, you know, everything is pretty much individual. There's a whole group thing, breakfast and dinner. There's the whole evening thing. There's the whole during the day thing with a light lunch, you know. But everything is pretty much BYO, you know, bring your own. at the same time, everything is taken care of in your ticket. The food, the drinks, the entertainment. That's all going to come in the ticket price. There's going to be meals that you're responsible for and outings that you're responsible for. The putting forth them if you're going to go on the trip to the wineries to do the wine tasting, then yeah, you're responsible for all of that. If you're going to come home and have barbecue and sodas, then we're responsible for that because that's part of the plan. That's the fact, Jack. I got to get my van up and working better because that's going to be my home away from home down there. That and a tent and a canopy. I see it all so clear in my head. The only thing I don't see are the faces of the people. I see the people, but I don't see their faces. Mainly because I don't know what anybody looks like anymore. But at the same time, I don't have any definites. I got like 2 definites and 13, interesteds. So I'm going to be sending out special invitations to everyone that hits me up. And the invitation is going to read, bring whoever the fuck you want. Bring as many fucking people as you want. Just know that each person that comes has to pay for a ticket price. And the tentative ticket price is going to be $50 a day. Okay? That includes camping and food and entertainment. All right? $50 a day. Should cover everybody's involvement. Yeah. And if we get enough people involved to pay for the tickets ahead of time, then that brings our costs down. So if we get, okay, look, we've got this many people who are interested in coming. I've sent out invitations, and we've got 100 people saying, yeah, me and my family are coming. We're going to take 4 tickets, right? Then we figure out how many tickets are going to be sold, and we work that budget into those ticket quantities and try to bring the ticket costs down, right? At the same time, we may have a list of events like, okay, if we sell this many tickets, we'll do this. If we sell this many tickets, we'll do this. If we sell this many tickets, we'll do this. And then we might do it like that. I don't know. I'm gonna hit people up. I'm going to hit up 3 different people to help me with this. One to be a secretary, to keep track of all of the information, right? And be in charge of inviting people. I want somebody in charge of the money situation, fundraising, keeping track of money, what our budget is, we're spending, incoming, outgoing, all of that shit, because I'm not really into that. And then I need somebody to mirror my job, to know exactly who I'm talking to, what I'm talking to them about, all the contact information, budget information, locations, everything. So that if something were to happen to me, this can still go off without a hitch. The guys in town are going to know exactly how to set everything up. Look, here's the schematic. Here's the way it gets set up. Here's this, here's that. Everybody's got their little part. And if I can get 3 people to sign on for a permanent position, it's not going to free me up. It's going to free me up here to not have to worry that I'm not doing all of this in vain if something happens to me, right? Because you never know. I watch Chips. I know that one minute you're here and one minute you're gone, One minute everything's great, and then there's somebody showing up your door saying, I'm sorry to inform you. So, yeah, totally. Let's make sure that this happens. regardless, no matter what, come hell or high water, let's make sure that this happens. So I will be sending out definite invitations. I will be asking people for their assistance, giving jobs to people. Look, it's your job to just find pallets of the same size. You got a year to find 27 pallets or whatever. This is it. We need pallets. You want to take on the job of finding this and this as well, because these are things we are going to need for the event, right? We're going to need a lot of pallets. We're going to need a lot of sheet plywood. We're going to need fake grass. We're going to need a shitload of fake grass, 20 by 30 at least. At least a 20 by 30. That's small. I figure the stage alone is going to be 20 by 30. Well, no, not that big, but it's going to be a big stage, 10 by 15. So if you've got a big giant lawn in front of a big flat stage, a stage that's only a pallet off the ground, but stable, someplace to put a drum kit and a keyboard and amplifiers and stuff that's not sitting in the dirt wobbling around. My brother's like, well, back in the day we used to, and I'm like, yeah, we used to, but I'm going to be bringing people here that are professionals, and I don't want them sitting in the fucking dirt. That's just the way it is. I've got a vision in my head, and nobody's going to change that vision in my head except for ability. Well, we're not able to do that. Okay, well, my vision has to change to fit how we can do things. I'm not going to change my vision because I'm afraid of doing this, and this might happen, so we don't want to upset these, and this and that. It's like, look, this is the way we're going to fucking do it. If you want to do it this way, grab on and do it. If not, bye-bye. Bye-bye. I'm not going to chicken out. I'm not going to go half-ass. I'm not going to, well, we couldn't quite, so this is the best we could. Fuck that. It's, all's it and balls it. Let's go. I need hot coffee. So I'm open to suggestions to make this shit work, not suggestions to make it. How am I supposed to know what you want? I don't know what you want. You don't know what you want. Well, who's going to know what you want if you don't know what you want? I mean, criminy. Los perros locos. All right. Yeah. I'm just over going along to get along, That's what screws people up when they become the person that everybody sees them to be, just to fit and just to be accepted. You see me as stupid, I gotta be stupid. Here I am being stupid. That's all you see, so I gotta act stupid. So I'm stupid all the time. Look, I'm doing stupid stuff. You like me? Yeah. So I'm over being that guy. Hey, he's a funny guy. Look, be funny. Right? I used to get that all the fucking time. Yeah, Mike, he's so funny. Be funny. Do something funny. Do that thing that you do. I used to get so fucking sick of that. I used to get so... I'm totally sick of being on, right? That's one thing about being here is I'm on, but this is me. I mean, you don't get any more real than this. You know, I'm not on like, you know, the Y-Files guy or, you know, Mr. History guy, right? Those guys are on. They're doing their shtick. They're doing their thing. I ain't doing nothing but just letting it fucking out, you know. Turn on that external speaker and let the rest of the world hear what's going on up here. That's it. That's all I'm doing. Some people don't like what's going on up there. You know, oh, he thinks differently, you know. Or, he's not the guy that I always thought that he was. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Gosh, he's not Mike. I'm not. And I never was. You just never took the chance to see who the fuck I am, right? So there you go. You know, and I take every opportunity that I can afford, you know, emotionally, to try to get to know people. And I just get shut down. I mean, literally just shut down. I got tired of sending messages. I really did. I'd send out messages. Hey, man, what's going on? Hey, man, what's going on? Hey, man, eight fucking messages in a row. And I finally get oh, I'm sorry I didn't get back to you, but, you know, I was scratching my ass. You know, I was like, oh, okay. Or I'll send it to friends, right? I'll send friends, you know, hey, man, what's going on? What's going on? And it's like, yeah, who are you? I can understand, you know, friendship maintenance was never one of my strong suits, right? It just wasn't. I never was, you know, I never learned how to have friends. When you suffer from depression, you're always hiding from yourself and from people, so you never really have a chance to, you know, go past that silly stuff, you know. Oh, I got dogs here screwing about. I'll be right back. What do you want before I sit down? Come on. Come on, what do you want? Come on, this way. No, Bessie, stay. Stay. You don't want to go nowhere. Come on. Goodness, those dogs drive me so crazy. I mean, he must have come in and out of that door 4 times. I want to go in. No, I want to come out. Oh, I want to go in. I want to go out. No, I want to come back out. Can I go in? I want to come out. Let me out. Let me back in. Oy, Chihuahua. Yeah, I feel like everybody else around me got to grow up and change and be, you know, new people and have new experiences and families and move on and be seen as somebody different. Well, you look at me, he's a, you know, a grandparent and all this, you know, and it's like I feel like, you know, I'm not allowed to be seen as anything, you know. Oh wow, he's doing really good for a guy like him. You know, that's the way I feel. You know, people look at me like, wow, isn't that great that he's got a wife and a daughter? Isn't that just, aw? It's like, what the fuck? You know, I get pitied because you know I made something in my fucking life. I mean, give me a fucking break. You know, isn't that great? Look at him. Oh, isn't that cute? The poor retard made it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I just don't know. I just don't know anymore. I have to look back, way, way back, right, in order to be, in order to take pleasure in any of the friends and family that I know now, right? I got to look way back because, you know, we had more in common back then. And I was way closer to the vision that they have of me now. But at the same time, it's like I talk to friends and family, and it's like, it's just small talk, you know. Because if I try to talk about my life and who I am, I literally, people just, you know, their face just kind of glazes over like, yeah, like you could possibly do anything else and be that, you know, that bum or whatever I see, you know. Yeah. I go out of my way to try to accept people for who they are, whatever they are, and whatever's going on. And I never get the same respect, you know. I never do. It's hilarious and sad, you know. It makes you just want to scream, well, fuck you, I hate you, and I hate you, and I hate you, and I hate all of you, and I hate the way you guys are. Fuck you, fuck the way you are, you know. And that's not me, you know. So I try not to react emotionally to stuff that pisses me off or makes me emotional, you know. I just drop it, put it out of my head, and come back to it. And if it still makes me emotional, then I leave it alone some longer time, and just keep leaving it alone a day, 3 days, a week. You know, if I can get to, and then even sometimes I'll be responding to something after a week in a message, and I'll still be shaken, you know. And it's like, well, how dare other people try to control my emotions just to fit their world, you know? How dare you? And do it and do it intentionally. But I didn't know I was doing it intentionally. Of course not. Because you do it so much, because it's your way of life. Control is your way of life, you know. You don't even realize that you're inflicting control upon others. It's just how you are. Yeah. How unfortunate. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's going to be good to have a break from the morning show for a little while. Get into doing some other video work. I want to do all of my family home movies from my father's university days, and put all of those on the channel. I've got more reel-to-reels, some more audio stuff, some more video stuff, a lot of photographs, not to mention all of the new stuff, the concert footage and whatnot, a lot of whatnot. So if I can utilize that time that I'm not here in the mornings to kind of get my shit together. Those fucking dogs again. Clickety-clack, click, clack, click. Be right back. Okay. One more time and I'm just going to give up. It's just way too many times of up and down for dogs. Sick of it. I'm going to put doggy doors on all the fucking doors. Let them fucking get themselves out in the morning, you know? Let them go into every fucking buddy's room on their own. I'm sick of it. You know, and you tell, okay, who wants to go out? One dog gets up. You close the door, another dog gets up. Hey, what about me? Am I ranting this morning? I sure feel like it. That's all right. Some days, I just gotta say, wow. You know? Some days you just gotta scream, you know? And of course it's illegal to show emotion now. You know, if you stand out on the corner and cry or scream, they either think you're fucking nuts or they think you're violent. You know, down on the ground. What? Ah, down on the ground. Fuck you. You know, if I ever get arrested for showing emotion, man, I'm gonna sue everybody for fucking billions of fucking dollars, right? How dare you, you know, put a quell on my emotions because they offend you emotionally, right? So you're allowed to have emotions, but I'm not. You're allowed to decide how you utilize your emotional world, but I'm not. Fuck you, you know. How dare you, you know? How fucking dare you decide how I express emotion, where and when. If I want to stand out on the fucking street corner and yell, just, ah! Why not? Why the fuck not? Huh? Who's that hurting? You know? Am I disturbing the peace? Bullshit. Fuck you. Whose peace? It disturbs my peace to not be able to yell on the fucking street corner, right? Maybe all I want to do out there is fucking scream, you know? I tell you what, some cop's gonna come by and say, you're not allowed to do that. Fuck you, cop. Fucking asshole. Literally 99.9% of the jerks out there with fucking badges and guns are just fucking assholes looking to control somebody else, right? You get very few nowadays who are actually there to help people, right? Most of them are there to just fucking be a bully or be a hired gun for somebody, right? They don't protect people's rights anymore, you know? They protect property, which means corporate entities. Fuck them. I want to be able to invite a police officer to a family barbecue. Hey, what's going on, man? Come over and, you know, you can't do that now because they're always on. You know, you can't invite the local constable to come to Sunday dinner anymore and hang out with the family because he might read something into it or be taking notes on the side, you know, or just be too much of an asshole, right? To want to be fucking human anymore, you know? I hate that. One little spot where you can't reach, you know? Oh, believe me, I want to like the authority people out there, but they don't give any way for you to like them or even appreciate what they're fucking doing, you know? Back the blue? Fuck, man. Back me first. If you ain't backing me, fuck you. Back the blue. What do you think I do fucking paying taxes, you son of a bitches? You know, I back the blue. I get the fuck out of the way when you go screaming by and your fucking sirens are on to get a fucking goddamn donut. You know, I back the blue when I say yes sir and I do what I'm told, even though I know you're full of fucking shit. You know, I back the blue by not being a fucking criminal. And I pay for your fucking goddamn everything, you know? I pay a percentage of that, of you. You know, you work for me. What happened to those days, you know? Now they don't work for us. They work for the government. They work for a private company, so they didn't even have to answer to the city they work in, because the city had to hire a private fucking company to come in and police their fucking town. Because they, you know, what? The city don't trust anybody in their own fucking town? Well, fuck you. Then hire them fucking out-of-town jerks. Fucking rent-a-cops. Ugh. Everything's so fucking ass backwards anymore. You know, you used to know all of the cops in town. You used to see them at the fairs and carnivals. You used to see them at school, at the drive-in. You know, you could say hi and talk to them and see them at a party or something somewhere. Or they'd show up somewhere and be totally cool because they were more like friends and community members than, you know, authority figures, you know. And it was easy for them to come in and quell a bad situation because they were more like friends and family members than some out-of-town fucking hired gun, you know. It's just so fucked up anymore. Just so fucked up. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We need smaller communities. Well, you know, we've got these big, giant cities everywhere now that are just kind of bleed into the next one. You know, the track home communities bleed into the next city's track home communities. And it's just this overwhelming monster, right? That just keeps going and going and going. And it'll be nice when things, you know, get brought down to a manageable population again, and we can just have these small villages and communities and hamlets, you know, spread out, so we can have more of a sense of community. You can have a sense of community in a big city, right? But nobody wants it. Everybody's in it for themselves, right? We can accomplish it in a place like this. We live in a mobile home park with about 20 residents. You know, residences. So we all try to get to know each other and help each other, right? And try to form some kind of sense of community, you know. And if you can do that in your own little, on your block, let's say, on your street, on your block, then you can do it with the next street and the next block, and you can do it with the businesses in town, and the farmer's market, and the flea market, the swap meet, and then, you know, the bummer is that you've got all of this influx of people trying to escape their own bullshit to come out here and suck off of your goodness, right? That it brings our level of goodness down, right? Because they don't come here nicely usually. Usually the tourists and the out-of-towners will come to some place and bring the bullshit with them, and the poor attitudes and the disrespect and the discourteousness and all of these things compiled, you know, and then it starts to turn the good people in town into that. And it's just, you know, I mean, and it starts right away when the good people in town raise their prices triple so they could gouge those tourists that come into town, right? And then they don't give any quarter to the locals, you know. Oh, I know you, local discount, you know, 30% off or something. No, that doesn't happen. Rarely, right? So they've been changed by the outsiders. They've lost some of that goodness, right? And that's a bummer, because I see it happening every day. I see myself reacting to those sad sons of bitches that come through town, you know, and it makes me one of them, and I hate it. I fucking hate it. What are you gonna do? You know, not go out? Pretty much, that's what happens. I just decide, you know what, I'm not going out. If I'm going out, I'm going to Walmart, I'm going here, I'm going there, and I'm coming back, and I'm not spending much time out, because It hurts the psyche. It does. It makes me emotionally and mentally vulnerable to their bullshit, to be out there all the time. Then pretty soon I'm cussing and screaming and yelling and pulling up, flipping people off and you know, playing their fucking bullshit city game. And I don't want to get into that, because there's like, it's second nature for them to just say, fuck you, I'm going to do it. What are you going to fucking do about it, right? And I'm like, whoa, dude, I just wanted to get by so I could get a box of fucking cornflakes, you know, and you're going to fucking pull your out-of-town bullshit, you know? Fucking, you're in the country now, man. Loosen the fuck up. Get that stick out of your fucking ass. And don't be a fucking jerk. Don't be an asshole just because, you know, you're from a place where you got to always be on and be that asshole to defend yourself, you know? Like, fucking grow up. This ain't high school, dude. Fucking A, man. So many fucking 40-year-old high school people walking around, and that's it. They never, you know, their bullshit never moved past, you know, get out of my seat, motherfucker. I'm taking your lunch. You know, and they're still there, and they're still doing it. You know, they're trying to pretend, you know, like the social media fakery, where they try to pretend, you know, look at me, I'm a cool guy, I'm tipping extra, you know, look what I did, I gave this homeless guy something, you know, and then they turn around and take it back or kick that homeless guy in the teeth, you know, because it's Facebook fakery. It's just social media bullshit, you know. People want to have that image, and when the camera goes off, they're the biggest fucking asshole in the world. Camera goes on, yeah, hi moms, how you doing, love you, yeah, I'm just hanging out here with my buds, we're just feeling it, you know, we're just feeling it. Camera goes off, yeah, fucking cunt, I ain't sending this fucking shit to her anymore. Fucking, she didn't fucking sign that check. And I see it. I totally see it. Why? Because I pay attention when I go out. I watch people. I listen to what's going on. Other people are wrapped up in their own world when they're out there, and all they hear and see is the bullshit that, you know, orbits around them. You know, I go out and I turn my shit off, and I'm watching everybody else, and I'm seeing what the fuck's going on. I'm soaking it in, right? I'm seeing what the world is all about, and it ain't a pretty fucking picture. If you just woke up from 20 years ago, right? This is not a pretty picture. If you woke up from yesterday, it's like, yeah, this is normal. Everything's totally normal, you know, but, you know, reverse Van Winkle here. I fell asleep, woke up 40 years ago, you know, and I'm looking around me going, what the fuck? Nothing fits. Nothing fucking fits at all, anywhere. And what scares me the most is that most people don't realize how they've been fucked up. You know, how they've just totally given themselves over to whatever information comes through this little fucking idiot box, right? I have to get now. I miss out on things, phone calls, messages, and stuff, because I'm just like, fuck that. I'm so over it. I'm gonna start giving out my home phone number, right? If you want to contact me, you have to call me and talk to me, and that's the phone that's gonna ring. If I'm not here, I'll get an answering machine. I'm getting sick of this fucking. Everywhere you go, you got this fucking thing attached. You remember when phones had cords and were attached to the house and people were free, right? And now people have these phone cords stuck up their ass, and they can't go any place, they can't do anything without this fucking phone, right? That's sad. You know, that is really sad. If we go out as a family and my daughter is with us, I make her responsible, and I turn my fucking phone off. I don't need that following me around. I don't need that leash. I don't want to get an alert, all right? I don't want to get an alert about fucking anything. I don't care what it is. I don't want to get an alert, you know? If it's an emergency, they'll find a way to get in touch with me, right? They always do. But it seems like they ain't giving a shit. So why the fuck should I? You know, why the fuck should I? And there goes that attitude again, where,
You know, well, nobody else gives a fuck, so why the fuck should I, right? Isn't that what got the world into the situation that we're in now? You know, why you can drive through Los Angeles and there's just fucking shit and homeless and trash everywhere, and everybody just looks the other way, or takes selfies next to it. Look at this homeless bum, shit all over himself, laying there passed out. Is he dead? I don't know. Let's get a selfie. That's the way it is, you know. I fucking see it. I go there, you know. I get out. I see the world the way it is now, and it's an ugly place. And what's even uglier are the people who live in the ugly world, because not only have they made it ugly, but they've made themselves ugly. They've allowed that ugly world to make them ugly. Inside, they may be pretty on the outside, all fluff and cinnamon, but on the inside they're just rotten. They're just rotten to the fucking core. I don't trust anything that I see on social media. Anything. Unless it's something like this, where somebody is just fucking being real and laying it out. Unscripted, unproduced, you know, unplugged and unedited, uncensored, you know, and you don't see much of that. You got people worried about offending people, and people worried about getting cut, you know. I'll lose my sponsor if I say that. I can't say that. Look, I got this whole list of things I can't say. Well, what the fuck can you say? Pay me for following your rules? Fuck you. That's why I don't monetize my channel, because I have to follow a whole bunch of other fucking rules. You know, you can't upload this, you can't do this, you can't say that. Is it for kids? No, it's not for kids. None of my shit is for kids. None of my shit is horribly raw, right? But I'm not going to decide what your fucking kids watch. That's up to you. You want your kids to watch my show? Great. They might learn something, you know, actually learn something. Otherwise, you know, I don't want your kids watching me. You know, you might get offended, you know. I'm sure your kids are probably young enough and uncorrupted enough to understand where I'm coming from. Whereas you're probably have your head so far up your ass because you've been programmed by the media and social media and all the other accoutrement bullshit that's out there. Come on. You know? What are you going to do? What the fuck are you going to do? If you don't like it, there's the door, right? It's just the way it is. That's what they've been telling me my whole life. Well, if you don't like it, just get the fuck out then, right? Well, I got the fuck out a long time ago because I've been running from people like that. Well, if you don't like it, hey, where'd he go? That's me. Well, fuck you, then I'm gone. You didn't have to tell me twice, you know. If I don't like it, I can leave. Well, fuck, why didn't you tell me that sooner? I'm gone. I'm fucking gone, motherfuckers. You know, that's what keeps me from having from having had a permanent long-term job, you know, not being able to take the bullshit and not willing to stick with the bullshit just to collect a paycheck, you know. Well, I've got all of these bills and I have to like my job because I have no choice. I've got a mortgage and a kid in college and 3 cars and yada yada fucking bullshit, you know, and a spouse that spends uncontrollably, you know. Oh, well. You know. Oh, fucking well. I'm just not gonna play the bullshit game. And pretty much everything that's out there nowadays is bullshit. They're getting you to sign on to some fucking... They got me to sign on, you know. 20 years ago, 15 years ago, I said I'd never pay to watch TV on one of those stupid streaming channels. I'm never going to pay for Netflix. I'm never going to pay for CBS or Paramount or, you know, I'm not going to do that. And you know, I subscribe to like 6 streaming channels now just so that I can have the shit that I want. You know, but it's either that or I'm constantly subjected to commercialism. I'm constantly subjected to people trying to sell me shit or sell me on shit or sell me on some kind of fucking ideal or idea. And it's just all bullshit. All of it is. You know, especially the movies and programs and shows and stuff. They're, I mean, worked right into the DNA of these programs now is getting you to think a certain way, right? Before it was, let's entertain you, let's take you away, and now they're making you, whether you know it or not, they're making you travel a different road, right? Look at yourself now and then look back at yourself 20 years ago. How have you allowed this technological bullshit to change you? Was it for the good or not, right? I bet it's, for the most of you, you're going to say it's not. It's totally destroyed my life, you know. How many bad relationships have you gotten into because you swiped right, right? How many bad investments because of these fucking worms coming out of the fucking walls to get your money, right? How many times have you just totally screwed yourself up by following some fucking gimmick, right? That you know, or the fads, those viral bullshit fucking challenges, right? Let's get everybody to do the same stupid thing at the same time. It'll be wonderful, you know. What the people who do those home things, home care things. Let's do this. Let's change your face. Let's do this. Let's add this and subtract that. You know, that little blonde girl who was always pulling her hair into the stuff, and it was gone. She looks like me. She's got my forehead now because she was so into pulling her hair back in these braids that eventually it just destroyed her roots, right? It just kept killing her roots because she kept pulling her shit too tight, right? Or those people that, you know, stick their lips into a thing and then suck all the air out and leave it there for a couple of minutes, and their lips get all huge and blown up, and then they're permanently, you know, saggy-lipped over it, you know. Lips look like a baboon's ass. Yeah, so, you know, how many times has this internet bullshit, these phones, these fads, this craze, you know, how many times has it totally fucked people over? Probably more times than it's been beneficial. Right? At least, you know, that people will admit to. Because people won't admit to shit anymore. They will look right into a mirror and lie to themselves and believe the bullshit. Fucking hilarious. It has to be, dude. It has to be real, bro. I posted the video. Look, there's the video. It's real. Okay. If you're willing to suspend reality to believe that bullshit, okay. Whatever. You is fucking gone, though. You know, we have so many fucking deluded, disillusioned fucking psycho fucking nut jobs out there nowadays who just buy into all of this fucking bullshit. Constantly buying into listen to these old-time radio shows, all right? Listen to X-1 through the entire series, all right? And pay attention to the psychology of the people in each episode from each time period in each walk of life, right? Pay close attention to the psychology, the robots, the computers, the people. It's crazy, all right? But it's a lot more real than what's going on today. You know, people so totally believe the bullshit that they're programmed to believe, right? They just totally believe it. I'm supposed to believe that? Okay, I'll believe that. You know, here, watch this video and you'll believe it too, right? I saw this post about this stupid video about something, right? And I saw this little comment, and it was like a couple of lines, and then it said show more, right? So in a couple of lines was, I started watching this, and then a paralyzed friend came over in his wheelchair, and so like, what? So I clicked on it and we watched it together. He got up and he was so inspired by the video that he got up and started dancing around the room and was cured of his paralysis, right? He then went and rented a giant projector in a football stadium and invited the whole town to come watch your video. And everyone there was so enthused that it changed all of their lives. And I want to thank you so much for showing this video to us, right? And it was just this, and you could, oh, this guy's really being really, really, really facetious, right? And I just loved it, the facetiousness of it all. That was so fucking cool, you know? So every once in a while, I see someone out there who gets it, someone who's like me, you know, but not often. Most of the time, I'll say something and their head will go, eh? Did he say that? What did he say? I don't get it. What's he talking about? And usually it's about reality. If I happen to get too real about something, which means I'm talking about something that's not programmed into me, right? I'm not just repeating the rhetoric that I read and hear, right? Which you try to have a conversation with most people and they just repeat the bullshit that they've been programmed to parrot. That's it, you know? And I cannot have conversations with people like that. I want to have an honest, intellectual back and forth talking about real life stuff, you know? I don't want people to bring out their phones to back up what they're saying, but it's right here, you know. That's not a conversation to me, you know. Speaking to somebody for an hour, eye to eye, face to face, hanging out, and not once having to use a fucking telephone to back up your fucking story. That's a conversation, you know. And then, you know, don't come at me for a selfie after that real conversation, because I'll kick you. Gotta warm it up. Yep. So yeah, this is the morning show. This is what I do. Well, today is Wednesday, Old Time Radio Wednesday. Now, starting next week on Old Time Radio Wednesday, there'll be an 8 and 8:30 show. So right after the morning show, you'll get an 8 o'clock radio program. And then right now, that's X-1 every day. And then another program, some kind of odd program after that. And then at noon on Wednesday, Wednesdays are Nero Wolf Day. So, and then at noon 30, we'll have another oddball program. So Old Time Radio Wednesdays, 4 magnetic programs, which is pretty cool. And then my whole purpose of labeling each day for individual things, television, movies, old time radio, is so that we have the opportunity to get together and discuss things, right? So that's why we do the Old Time Radio Wednesday, so that we can talk about the different shows, the different characters and actors, and the different aspects of and the writers, and you know, the different types of shows, you know, and how radio evolved and how radio kind of transferred their shows to TV. Yeah, there's a lot going on. And then I have the computer here so I can pull up information and we can discuss it further, you know, and learn stuff, you know. If I'm going to use some information to discuss a topic, if I can't find it in a book here in one of these encyclopedias or one of these science fiction books or a music book or something, well, then I'm going to go to one of the sites that I use, or a library, and pick up that information there. I do like to use Wikipedia, even though in college 10 years ago I was taught not to use it as a source because it couldn't be trusted. I do like to go there. I do like to use Wikipedia because it does have a lot of information, and it is more trustworthy than it was 10 years ago. And there are a few other sites that I use that I cannot divulge those sites because, you'll tell a friend, and then they'll tell 10 friends, and then pretty soon everybody's there, and it's crowded, and I can't get through, and it's just like, nah. So I'll keep it to myself. And then all of that stuff there, I'm a little greedy. I want to be the first one to throw it out there and say, check this out, So, which makes it really interesting for me to bring you content. I'm like most networks, television networks, right? They rely on a lot of borrowed content to fill up their airtime. So I'm doing the same thing. I'm using a lot of borrowed content, older TV shows and radio shows and old movies and music and that kind of stuff to fill in my time slots in between my live stuff, right? Because my live stuff is pretty much where it's at for now. At some point, I want to come up with an evening show, a post-nighttime nonsense and nostalgia show that discusses something on the channel, old movies, old TV, old concerts, old radio shows, old radio, KMET, lots of different topics. So I want to come up with some kind of talk show where I can discuss these things and then have call-in guests and that kind of back and forth stuff going on. Yeah, totally. But for the most part, I know that I spend a lot of this time doing the live stuff where I'm just by myself. It's just me. It's just me entertaining me. And while that's mostly true, because I do have fun doing this, and it's a great mental and emotional outlet for me, it is mainly for my daughter, my wife and my daughter, so that when I'm gone, they have some kind of thing here where they can, push a button, and there I am, ranting and raving, stomping around. So that's kind of cool. I at some point a few years ago, after my father passed away, I thought, wow, what a bummer that now he's completely gone, and there's no way to have any kind of, other than a picture or a video, here and there. That's it, right? And I thought, okay, well, what I'd like to do is I'd like to create one of those digital picture frames, right? But create an interactive one and have a bunch of me loaded up into it, right? So that you could interact, push a button and say hello, and I would say hello back, right? That kind of thing. Just a simple little, or at the very least, just have a picture, a digital frame of short videos and photographs popping up, and every day it would change to something else. And that eventually led me here doing a video log in the mornings. And it's evolved from so many different ideas. This channel has evolved from so many far out, but it seems like the core of this channel has pretty much just been, hey, I'm here, I'm sharing my life, this is me, this is what I do, and then this is why I do it. And then, why am I me? Well, look at all of these radio shows and movies and stuff that kind of raised me and kind of helped create who I am, right? So, hence a lot of radio shows, because growing up, we didn't have a TV available all the time. And then educational films from school, right? Because that was one of my favorite entertainment sources. Weekend movies, TV shows from the 60s, 70s, and 80s that I grew up on. So I'm trying to find stuff like that I can, if not that exactly, then things, that would have interested me back then, right? So to speak. But that's it. That's the channel in a nutshell, Get to know me through the things that kind of made me who I am. And spending a lot of time with me doing this live stuff. I'm just about up to episode 50 of this morning show. Yeah. And 35 nighttime nonsense and nostalgia shows. So at some point I'm going to call quits on season 1 of nighttime nonsense and nostalgia, and I'm going to reintroduce the opening and ending credits and the pre-show stuff. I'm going to change the pre-show here. I'll change the pre-show at night, and try to create a tighter format for the nighttime show. And come up with more commercials, more music, more internal programming. I'd like to create original commercials, parody commercials perhaps, original news broadcasts, parody perhaps. I'd like to do some more KMET stuff if I can find it. So I want to integrate a lot of new stuff into the nighttime show while keeping the same amount of entertainment, right? Right now I'm doing 12 songs a show. Is that right? No. 16. I'm doing 16 songs a show, and on average about 3 commercials and or news stuff every block of 4. So that's about 9 to 12 commercial breaks or commercial individual commercials and news things. So that's quite a lot to squeeze into an hour. So if I can hone up the pre-show and the opening and then the end of the show and the post-show stuff, right? I really want to try to get the show to start and stop on time, which means I may have to drop a song on occasion somewhere. You know, I got 4 songs lined up in 3 and 4 blocks, and toward the end I might drop a song so that I can end the show at exactly 6 o'clock, right? So I'm flexible there, but I really want the show to flow better, you know, and I think if I have the opening, the pre-show and the opening run in together and start at about, you know, a 10-minute deal where I hit 10 minutes, and then when it's time for me to start talking at the end of that 10 minutes, the music goes down and continues for 10 seconds while I then introduce the next song, and that begins to play, right? I also would like to get my graphics and the audio-video mixer here up to par and doing more so that I can free up this other computer here for key graphics. and more sound. You can hear sound on this other computer over here. If I can play it without it slowing this stuff down, then I'll do it. And I may run some tests playing sound and video over here. And see what I get. But I know that I can get more out of this audio video mixture, these little lights down here. I know I can get more out of that. More special effects and creativity and more options to do things. And then if I can use their software, if I can use that live, then that's going to up the ante big time. So I don't have time to screw with it this week because I've got to get programming done and go to Elsinore and work over the weekend to do more programming. So I can't squeeze anymore. I can't put any more food on my plate. So I'm hoping at some point next week I'll be ahead of the game where I can get on the phone with Black Magic and watch some of their videos. And if I can get somebody to go back and forth with me, find out what I need to know, and have them either direct me over the phone, okay, well that's easy, just do this and this and this, or say, okay, well look, this is the video you want, this is the video, and this, go to watch these videos, they're going to tell you exactly what you need to know. Because I don't have the time or to sit and watch a bunch of stuff just to, cherry pick the little things that I need. I should watch all of it a couple of times and learn it really, really well, but at this point I can't. Once I'm off the morning show for a while, I think I will probably invest a whole lot of time into this and double down on all this. And then I don't know where this YouTube thing is going to go, how long it's going to last, what the life expectancy of this whole thing is relative to my own life expectancy. I just don't know. I just don't know. But I'm willing to go as far as my body and my will is going to allow me to do it. And hopefully I will be able to get enough of me on here live in the playlists for me to be known. Known as who I am and not, a soundbite, a snippet, which is how most people see me. They get that one snippet in their head, and that's all they'll ever remember of me, because that's the way people are. So I don't want to be a soundbite or a snippet. I want to be me, and I want to be seen as me. And I hope that this channel here, and especially this morning show, is helping that happen. They can go, oh, I get it. I understand now. He's not really crazy. He's just misunderstood. And he's crazy. But mostly he's just misunderstood. Because I think I have a pretty fair bead on what's going on in the world and with people. And I'm giving the world the same opportunity here. Now's your chance. Ask me the questions, right? Tell me no lies. Let me know what's going on. Give it to me. But at the very, very core, I'm just giving it to you. This is it. This is me. Unscripted, unedited, uncensored, unabashedly me. Here I am. If you want to ask me something personally, this is the place to do it, right? Because like I've said before, this is the realest reality show out there. You can't get any realer than this. If I'm gonna be happy, I'm gonna laugh. If I'm gonna be so happy I'm gonna cry, I'm gonna cry. If I'm sad, I'm gonna cry. If I'm angry, I'm gonna yell. If I'm pissed off about something, you're gonna know it. I'm not gonna hold back. I'm not gonna censor this so that I'm unoffensive, you know. If I'm offensive to you, that is a personal problem that you have to deal with on your own like an adult. You can't blame me if you get offended because I've said something. You know, I'm not here to offend people. I'm not doing it on purpose. So you can't take me to court and sue me because he said this and I didn't like it and it made me cry. You know, grow up. Just fucking grow up. You know, you can't cancel me out because, you know, I offend thee. You know, it's too bad. You know, like I said, that's a personal issue. You need to get over yourself. You know. Wow. I mean, I can't believe I have to say this. You know. You know, because I will not apologize for anything, ever, unless I have deliberately gone out of my way to hurt you intentionally, and I should not have. Then I will apologize openly and honestly, right? I don't give out apologies readily for stupid little things. Oh, sorry, I'm sorry, because it's not, it diminishes the quality of the apologies that are supposed to mean something, right? So, no, I don't do shit to apologize for. So therefore, I go out of my way not to be offensive and not to overtly inflict, you know, mental injury upon somebody. So if you get hurt, if your feelings are crushed, you know, go see a shrink. Don't take it out on me. You know, I'm not here to crush your world. I'm just here speaking the truth. You know, sometimes the truth hurts. Sometimes people don't want to hear the truth. You know, sometimes people don't want to hear that you are your own person and the picture they have in their head of you is nothing like who you are, right? It may, you know, it may seem like it because the gestures and words and sounds and thing may try to reinforce that little tiny picture, but it's not, you know. And for you to hold on to something like that and get offended, you know, when you say that's not me, you know, how dare he say that's not him, but that's the way I see him, so it's him. You know, if you get offended over that, then you know, that's, once again, that's your own issue. I gotta be me. I gotta be me. I love people no matter who they are. If you know, if they haven't given me any reason to dislike them, you know, more than likely, if I love a person, it's permanent. You know, I may not always like that person, but they still have my love and respect. I may not like them anymore. I may not be able to trust them anymore, but at least they should feel satisfaction knowing that, hey, on some small level, he still loves me, and maybe I should try to work on that, you know, and not take advantage of it. But, you know, once again, I speak to myself in these matters because no one wants to hear that, you know, that they're wrong, ever. You know, how dare you tell me that I think incorrectly? All right. Whatever. What do we got? Who looks 6:30? Gosh. And I just keep talking and talking and talking. What's really neat is the fun that I have doing this channel and the enthusiasm I have for the things that I'm doing, you know. At some point, I'm going to have well over 1,000 videos after a few months of this style of programming, and the programming might change. I might get into doing more live stuff. I might get into doing more recorded videos. I might just get into doing my own music and recording my own music videos and get into that for a while. I kind of go in waves, you know. It's like, okay, I'm riding this wave for a while. I'll wear out as much creativity, just squeeze out as much as I can get, and then move on to the next high point somewhere, you know. And right now the high point is just having so much fun finding the content and bringing it to the channel. Digging up new music for the nighttime show, that's a lot of fun. That is a lot of fun. And I'm getting fewer rebuffs from YouTube over it, you know. Oh, now, you're not supposed to play that. So that's cool. Just about everything that I play now is playable. I just can't monetize my channel because of it. And that's fine, because it was never really my intention, you know. It's a non-profit thing. It's like a public service, public broadcasting, right? That's pretty much what I'm doing here. I'm trying to bring you as much of me and as much of the content that I appreciate. And that's it. My channel. This is me. It's a channel about me and the things that I like. Boy, there are all these lights around me here, and my eyes are still just wiped out. And so I keep seeing the different lights following me around, leaving trails and stuff. So if you see me blinking and looking, I'm not having a stroke or something. I'm just seeing weird spots because of these stupid lights. So at some point, I may actually have to put a screen over some of these bright lights. Turn down my monitor brightness. Put a nylon screen over the top of this console here, this little audio-video mixer here, because those lights are bright. And if you stare at them for a few seconds, they just burn right into you. And I have a loose eyeball. If you can hear that, my eyeball gets squeaky. My wife just laughs about that. It's probably some kind of medical condition, right? Oh my God, he should see a doctor. But I won't. Because doctors are fucking crazy. And people who go to fucking doctors are programmed to believe bullshit. I mean, every time I go to a doctor, he's writing a prescription before I've told him what the fuck's wrong with me. Yeah, he's crazy. Let me give him a pill for that. If I had a doctor that wanted to get to know me and my situation personally and wanted to give a shit about helping me and not just following some kind of fucking protocol, usually wrapped around fucking prescriptions. If I could find someone like that, man, I would have gone to a doctor decades ago and never stopped going, right? But as it is now, what's the fucking point? You know, go to a doctor and get butchered for the last couple of years of your life so you can die horribly in a horrible amount of pain for this amount of time, rather than, you know what, I'm going to die anyway. Let me just live as long as I can, get a little further down the road. Yeah, it's going to be painful, but my God, this too? You know, and this is even worse. You know, let's gut you open and eviscerate you, yank out a bunch of stuff, radiate you and hope it makes you better. And if you survive, you know, you'll live a miserable life for the next year before you die. You know, we're going to fucking die anyway. You know, I see that. Who doesn't? Oh man, there go my eyes. So, you know, I mean, what the fuck are you going to do? Convince yourself you ain't going to die by going to a doctor? He's going to save me. Well, for what? And from what? And for how fucking long? Right? Oh, man. No, I'm not one of those people who's in love with the idea of dying, but I've come to terms with the fact that, yes, we all die. We got no fucking choice, you know? How you live your life and how you go out is you know, how you say, this is me, you know? And I don't really plan on doing the whole doctor thing. You know, if my family at some point wants me to go see a doctor, I'll go see a doctor. If they want me to do this or do that, you know, then I'll consider doing this or doing that. But do I have it in my plans to go do? No. Because I know where that road's going to get me, you know. Am I doing good now? Oh no, horrible. Every day I'm like, honey, my health ain't too good. And there is a small amount of procrastination and a small amount of what do you call it? Hypochondria, right? So my family sees me in pain all the time because of my neck and back. So it's like the both ways, with me and with them. You throw a frog into a pot of boiling water and he'll jump out. If you put a frog in a pot of cold water and heat it up gradually, he'll stay there and boil to death. He just gets used to it. Well, I'm boiling. And my family has seen me, boiling for years. So they're kind of used to it, right? They're used to it. Do they see, how bad my health is? Probably not. Do I want to tell them? Probably not. I don't want to live the end of my life with people going, "Oh." I want to just go out and do things. Yeah, I don't feel so good, but let's go. And just do it as long as I can do it. And just have as much fun and as much good memories as possible. Because life is killing us. We're all going to get there eventually. My eventually may be sooner. So I'm just going to try to go with it and have as much as fun as I can possibly manage. There's a squiggle there now. Maybe it is a stroke. My God, he should see a doctor. Yeah, a doctor should see me, because they don't. They don't see you. They don't even look at you most times. They just sit at the computer asking questions. And then get up and do the little pokes and prods, but never actually make eye contact. That's what I cannot stand. It's the impersonal of it all. It's just, yeah. So there you are. There you have it. There you go. But yeah, when it comes right down to it, right, if you're not going to take the time to even try to see those people who supposedly mean so much to you, right, if you're not even going to make an attempt to have some serious back and forth, right, then, when it comes to the end, don't show up, I loved you so much, man. Because at that point, nobody's believing it, especially me. I'm that little old lady on Little House on the Prairie. I'll just die and have a funeral and see who shows up. Because no one will. No one who I would want to or expect to show up. No one. No. Big old fat goose egg. A couple of people, yeah, people that you would expect to show up because they're going to make themselves feel better, or they're honest. There's maybe one or two honest people from a long time ago who would feel genuine remorse over a missed opportunity, right? Most people would just go, "Oh, what a bummer," and move on. A couple of people would probably become sniffing around, trying to make themselves feel better. Yeah, we were the best of friends, man. Isn't that always the way, right? Isn't that always the way? Yeah, because I want so badly to have some kind of back and forth with many people, family and friends from the past. I mean, I want it so badly, which is why I'm making a huge attempt at this reunion. You know, because short of faking my own death, you know, this is about the best I can come up with, is making it about everyone else, getting everyone else together, and just being the facilitator, just being the guy that's putting the show together. I'm just a producer at this point. I'm not the guy they're coming to see. I'm just the guy who's putting on the show to get everybody together. Yeah, this eye's gone now. This guy eye has gone wonky with the squiggly line. Squiggly line. It's like there's a hair, you know, but it's not, because I've seen this before. One of those things. One of those things. You should see a doctor, man. It'll go away. And if not, I'll just lay down, take a nap, and it'll go away. What are you going to do, huh? I have no control over life and death. I'm along for the ride, just like everyone else. Oh, sure, I could convince myself that I'm in control of life and death and afterlife and all that, but I'm not that delusional. I'll just kind of ride reality and see where that takes me. Oh, dogs again. I'll be right back. All right, well, Tootsie's awake. She had to go out. Of course, she didn't go out last night, which is why she's out now. Usually she'll just go in with Natalie and sleep and sleep and sleep and sleep and sleep. Well, she had to go out. Of course, she'll be coming back and going, okay, put me back, put me back. I want to go back in with Natalie. Totally. Totally. Ow. Ooh, a dog is chewing. Psst. Psst, psst. Hi. Good morning. How are you, big face? Ow. 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 So yeah, my sleep regimen is different. But I've found that I work better at night on video stuff. My computers seem to be faster later at night, which is good. There's Tootsie. But most importantly, I get better sleep during the day. I'll be right back. So yeah, normally my sleep would be from 11 or 12 to about 5 or 6 in the morning. And throughout that 5 or 6 hours, I would have to get up about 3 or 4 times, right? So I lose about an hour of whatever that is. Now, I go to sleep after midnight. I will usually get 2 or 3 hours sleep, and then I'll get up, I'll do everything here, and then if I'm real lucky, I'll get back in bed by noon, and I'll sleep another 3-4 hours. On the weekends, I can actually sleep longer now during the day. I can sleep overnight. I can actually sleep 5 hours, and then get up and then take a nap during the middle of the day for another 4 hours and really catch up on sleep. Sometimes it helps me catch up on pain too, because I stay in one spot for so long that I just get physically beat up trying to sleep. But like when I get done here this morning, the girls will be taking Charlie back down to the bus stop, and probably before they're even gone, I'll be back in bed by 9 or 10, cranking on that air conditioner, pulling the curtains, and just trying to get some sleep, because 2 hours last night does not cut it. So if I can get 4 to 6 more hours sleep, let me see what the hell's going on. Be right back. I'm just going to go look out this door here, see who the hell's doing what. Was a bird. Right? They're always doing that shit. The bird will sit somewhere on something and sit there and scratch. Friggin' birds. Right? No edgy, no edgy, no edgy. So yeah. Yeah, I guess for a long time I've been looking for some form of creative outlet that I didn't have to go out and do a whole lot of legwork. I would still like to get out and video stock footage and record sound effects, make some nature videos or something, you know. But I get out enough, quite frankly, with my wife and daughter, that I really don't want to go out and do big production stuff, right? It just takes too much out of me, right? I don't want to give myself over to a bunch of stuff that's going to wipe me out earlier, you know. I'm trying to accomplish as much as I can in the time that I have, so I don't want to expend so much energy that's going to get me such a small return, right? Spend 8 or 10 hours out doing something that's going to give me an hour or two, or minutes, right? I'm just, you know, if creatively I don't get anything out of it. It's not fulfilling. Even though I'm posting a lot of stuff that's not mine, I'm just sharing old content, it's still rewarding to me, because it's like a collection of stuff that I like. And I can go there any time and say, ooh, I never got a chance to watch this, and enjoy it. And it's right there. It's like my playlist. You know, this channel is just my playlist, basically. Things that I've done, places that I've been, things that I enjoy, things that I grew up with. A constant video log about what's going on with me and my world. Want to go outside? You want to go outside? All right. Come on. Come on. Go outside. Yeah, I would imagine that by the time we get down to the end of this actual series, not the season, but the actual series of seasons, I think once we get down towards the end, things are going to get real. Things are going to get really interesting. Things are going to go really fast. You know, one minute you're out driving down the highway, and the next minute someone's knocking at the door. So that knock at the door, you know, it's expected any time, really. And like I've told my wife on a number of occasions, I'd rather go out with a bad heart than go out with horrible cancer, right? So fingers crossed, right? Because I'd rather just not wake up one day rather than suffer horribly for months or years. So, yeah, not looking forward to it, but looking hopefully to not have to deal with it, you know. You go through your most of your early life thinking you're never going to make it past 35. Then every year after that is a gift and a burden, right? And you get 20 years past that and you're thinking, wow, man, maybe I should have taken care of myself better. If I'd only known I was going to live this long, I might have. And there's that. Hoping that, you know, getting dentures and having to be without teeth for a long period of time and having a destroyed diet isn't going to be detrimental enough to my health, you know. But on top of that, having to deal with, you know, being eaten away by, you know, horrible blackness, you know. So yeah, don't look forward to it, but you can't hide from it. You can't run from it. You know, you just can't. Maybe I can swipe a little bit more of that coffee in there. I think maybe so. We'll have a cup. We'll have it. Right? Totally, right? They don't call me crazy old weird bearded guy for nothing. What happens to crazy old weird bearded guys is they wind up old and alone and destroyed, you know. And people looking down going, oh yeah, look, told you. Yeah, that's courtesy for you. That's nice. Yeah, all I ever wanted was a fair shake. Never got it. Never. The only fair shake I ever got was a wife and a daughter, and you know, I really had to earn that. You know, I had to wait, and I had to earn every bit of it. And I'm not talking going out and making sure that they got you know, all these things because I'm going to work a job, and you know, which takes me away from them. You know, it's that. You know, I made it happen, and we know each other. You know, well enough to know that, you know, we'll always know each other no matter what. All right, a little more hot coffee. It's not going to keep me up. I can drink coffee and go to bed easier than not. I got insomnia, so I'm going to be awake anyway. At least with coffee, I know that when I wake up, I'll be wide awake. If I go to sleep, drink some coffee and go to bed. Man, I'll sleep for a few hours and get up just boing. Boing. Like totally boing, you know. Yep. Here I sit broken-hearted. Here I sit broken-hearted. Yeah, for a long time, I didn't want anyone to get to know me because I assumed that the reason that they didn't want to be my friend or be around me or have anything to do with me was because they knew me. And I realized that after a long time, it wasn't because they knew me so well that they didn't want to be around me. It's that they didn't know me at all. They thought that they knew me, and that's the reason they didn't want to. But they never, you know, rather than try to get to know me, they would just, you know, figure, oh, that's the way he is, and I don't like that, so I'm gone, you know. And of course, I have to, you know, keep that facade. Well, if that's the way they see me, then maybe I should not be changing, because then they won't see me at all, right? And, you know, only fucked up people with manic depression and other weird social hang-ups go through this. So I know other people, normal people, you know, are like, "Chiz, what the hell's wrong with him? Why can't he just be happy? Why can't you just be happy? What's depression? Why are you sad?" You know. So normal people just don't get it. They just don't have any fucking clue. I talk to people and they'll be like, "I don't know anything about depression. I don't know anybody with depression, and I've never had depression. Never been that sad." And it's like, all right, well, you just don't know then. And no amount of talking is going to be able to explain it to them, right? If you don't know about depression, you need to do some heavy learning so that you can understand people in your lives who have depression. It's like learning sign language because somebody in your family has a disability, right? A hearing disability. So, you know, if you're not going to take the time to invest in getting to know that person, at least invest some time into understanding why that person is the way they are, right? And lately I've had to invest a lot of time into introspective, trying to figure out who I am. I've done a lot of it on the show, you know, and I've just come to the realization that the only two people here on this planet who see me as an individual are my wife and daughter. And my dogs, I guess. But they're the only two who see me for who I am. And because we live in such close proximity, because we spend so much time together, because they hear me, they don't just see me, but they actually hear me and they listen. They ask me things and listen to the answers. You know, so therefore we've gotten to know each other, and they've really gotten to know me, you know. But this is the only place that I get that one-on-one respect of them, you know, caring enough to listen. I don't get that anywhere else. Nobody else on this planet knows me at all. I'd love for that to be different and for that to change, which is why I'm here, throwing myself out there, naked upon the world, you know. So yeah, if you want to ask me something, this is the venue for that. If you want to get personal and talk to me about what's going on in my life, this is the place to do it, right here. Especially if you haven't done it in the past personally. You know, if you haven't been involved in my life personally over the last 56 years, but we've known each other, then this is the place to do it, you know, because I'm not comfortable writing out long texts about what's going on in my life, and I'm not comfortable talking with people who all of a sudden want to know about what's going on in my life, you know. I just, no, because it makes me mad. I get frustrated, and then everything comes off, you know, well, gosh, what an asshole, you know. And I know that, you know, for the most part, I'm seen as an asshole, you know, in my family and in my circle of friends. Oh, that asshole. You know, I'd hope to change that so that people could watch this and understand why they see me as an asshole, you know. But nobody will. Nobody will take the time to go through and watch these videos, or take the time to sit and watch Everyday Live to understand what's going on. I know at some point, my daughter will sit and watch a lot of this to kind of understand. But I fear that it's going to be when I'm gone. She'll really get to know me through the videos after I'm gone, you know, and that's a fear and a hope that she'll have that opportunity to still know me and to learn more about me even after I'm gone. You know, I didn't know that about him, you know. She should say that all the time watching these videos. Oh my gosh, I didn't know that. You know, what did he say? Rewind that, you know. So, yeah. Another hard drive is on the way. And then I've got a stack of writable DVDs that's going to get used. Trying to get a lot of this stuff curated into manageable discs, you know, season 1, season 2, season 3, season 4, other shows, seasons, other, you know, discs of other videos compiled together. I'd like to even get all of my old-time movies and shows and everything. Just get everything uploaded onto hard drive, cataloged, curated, and then burned onto disc, right? So that no matter what, my daughter can blow the dust off of some old device and plug it in and watch, you know. And have me there, you know. Because I wish I'd had the opportunity to have a lot of this back and forth with my father, you know, to find out a lot of the answers that I seek, you know, that I can't get from anyone because nobody wants to talk about it, or nobody takes me seriously, or nobody gives a shit enough to spend time with me to understand and not just, oh, roll their eyes and go, oh, geez, that guy, you know. So, you know, not that I would have expected my father to give me much truth 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago, because I never got it. But I wish I had had the opportunity back before things got screwed up, you know. Back before I married a Mexican girl and everybody started to look at me differently for some fucking reason, you know. And it happened. As much as people want to go, oh yeah, right, he's full of shit, you know, I saw it from my end, and I saw it in people's eyes, you know. And mostly what I saw was, oh, well, that's really good for a guy like him, right? That's mostly what I got from friends and family. He's done really good for himself for a guy with his problems or situation, you know. So, yeah. But this is it. This is my channel. This is what it's all about. It all comes down to me trying to get as much of me out while I can. You know, just the same as trying to get out and do as much as I can with my wife and daughter while I can. You know, I'll save myself for that rather than the going out and doing stuff for YouTube. If I'm out doing something and I feel like I want to take myself away from my wife and daughter and go live or record something, then I'll do that. But YouTube isn't as important as it was to interrupt an evening or a day out with the family. You know, my wife and I went out and cruised around Hollywood and took some videos and photographs and stuff, but I would only allow a few minutes to be used up to do that so that we could spend more time together doing whatever else. Even if we were just sitting in the car eating a burrito, you know, let's sit in the car and eat a burrito for an hour and a half so we've got that time to hang out and just bullshit and goof on the people, you know. So that's more important. I could have recorded a lot of that shit that happened, you know, but it would have drawn attention to us as well as disrupted the evening that was more meant to be about us, right? So I will usually forego thinking about YouTube while I'm out doing family stuff. You know, my daughter, she likes to record all of the shows that she goes to and we go to, and my wife likes to take lots of pictures and stuff, and on occasion I'll pull out my camera and do a few things, right? So with that kind of file of stuff every time we go out, well, I've got a pool of video and photos to pull from. So I don't need to be responsible for getting all this raw data, you know, or creating it. I can just gather it from these sources and then stick it away and say, oh, look, I've got enough here, I can create this, right? Yeah, so there's that. But for the most part, I think I'm just going to give myself over to this stuff 5 days a week. When I'm here, when I'm available, when I'm not out doing family stuff. And like Elsinore visit Friday, it may disrupt Friday evening's show. And that's fine, because I'm totally willing to preempt something to go out and do something important. So if I'm not here Friday, it's because I'm out in the world, right? And I don't need to be here, man. But, you know, I'm going to spend usually about 5 days a week, all day into the evening, working on stuff so that I free up a lot of my weekend time and time during the week to go out and do stuff, right? Yeah, I think we've got a concert on the 28th, which is Sunday, which means Monday I'm going to show up here really, really tired, probably not be on for a long amount of time, and then I may or may not make it to the nighttime show, depending on how much sleep I get during the day, right? Because I will be getting home at like 2 or 3 in the morning. They're talking about getting a room. If I'm going to go, I would much rather just throw an air mattress in the back of the car, sleep for a couple of hours while they're partying at the concert, pack them into the car, hit in and out, and come home, and be home by 3 o'clock, right? To me, that sounds like a better deal, so that I don't have to mainly drive home during the day in all of that traffic, because no matter what time on Monday, coming or going into the city, we're going to be hitting traffic. And I don't want to do that. I know that driving out there, we're going to run into a little bit of traffic, And then coming home, we may have some construction traffic somewhere along the 10. But other than that, it should be a pretty easy ride out and back. So I'm looking for that. And which reminds me, we need to look at the tires on the car. We've done a lot of trips out of town, so we should look at that. But I would much rather just wrap it all up in one day, one evening, get it over with, and come back and start recuperating. Because I won't sleep in a motel. I just won't. It just won't happen. I'll try, but it won't happen. Especially in a room with, 4 snoring girls. I'd have to get my own room, which means more money, which means more bullshit. I mean, it's like, nah, no. Get a little cheap air mattress to stick in the back of that car, wedge myself in there with a bunch of pillows, pass out listening to the Netflix or the radio or something for a couple hours, and then get up to my alarm, snack on something, and hit the fucking road, go to In-N-Out. Right? Totally. And get it on home. Yeah, I like the evening wrapped up in one deal. I mean, if we're going to go out and we got plans to go out the next day to do something, but get a motel room, it's going to be hell getting those kids up and out, and even by checkout, I don't even want to go through that. If I'm the driver, then we go by my rules, and my rules say I get you out there way before the concert and wait around till way whenever you guys are ready. But the only stipulation is that we come home that night. And that's it. Get the dog.
Tomawa.
Yep. No wedgie. Aye. So, yeah. Ow. Yeah, I'm still convinced that, even though most of my life I was pretty sure that I didn't have any friends because people would get to know me and decide, he ain't for me, and it's only been recently that I've figured out that it's because they don't know me. Nobody cares. Nobody takes the time to get to nobody. Nobody wants to have enough of that back and forth. I say a few things, they hear a few things, they see a few things, and they're like, that's it. Most of the people that show up and watch the show for any amount of time probably feel the same way. They're not going to take the time to get to know me or to know what's going on. They're just going to see a few things, hear a few things, and go, not this crazy guy. That's par for the course. I expect that, and that's okay. I expect that I'm more than likely going to find more weirdos like me, people who just don't fit in, people who nobody understands them. Their family refuses to see them for who they are instead of the person they want them to be or expect them to be or see them as, people who just don't fit in for whatever reason. They try and they try, and they finally come to the conclusion that they just have to be themselves. As weird as it seems to everybody else, they feel comfortable being themselves. They're normal and they're safe in their own skin, even though that skin offends everyone else. So those are the kind of people that I expect to show up and hang out and actually make comments. It doesn't happen too often because we are a rare breed, I guess. True weirdos, completely misunderstood, exiled, you know, crazy old guys living up in a cave somewhere, raising goats and eating potatoes. You know, that's where I saw myself. And I'm kind of there, right? I'm that crazy old weird bearded guy living up in a cave, you know, and instead of goats, I got dogs. You know, instead of being alone, I got a wife and a daughter. I don't eat potatoes. I eat a lot of Mexican food. But I you know, I am that guy. And it's real easy for people to just say, yep, and turn the channel, you know, because people have been changing the channel for me my whole life, you know. I'll start talking about something, I'm like, yeah, let me go to somebody else, you know, where you're talking to somebody, and then it's real easy for them to turn to the person next to them and start talking about something else, because they are completely uninterested in what you're talking about, and they just refuse to give you the respect to at least let you finish what you're going to fucking say before they move on and go, yeah, uh-huh, and then start talking to somebody else. But they completely just ignore you while you're in mid-sentence and turn you off. Yeah, and I've gotten that a lot. And for a long time, it just made me think, you know what? There's something about me that, you know, and there is. I'm weird. I'm weird in the fact that I don't take any shit. You know, I don't believe any shit. You know, I'm not full of shit. Therefore, it's hard to deal with people who are full of shit. You know, and it's easy to spot people who are full of shit. But, you know, there's just, I guess, so many things about me that just turn people off because it's too real. They don't want to think about, you know, any reality other than their own fictional reality, right? Their Facebook fakery reality. Yeah. Wow, have I really spent this much time venting about the world in my life? What else am I going to do, right? Yeah, I guess the only thing that I really can do is just focus on me, my family, my channel. And by family, I mean my household. And hope that, you know, I can get some kind of back and forth between me and those that I care about. Because after, you know, decades of non-contact, you realize that you're not one that they care about as much as you care about them, as much as you try to, you know, instigate some kind of, you know, but it's always been one way, one-sided, on somebody else's terms. You know, am I allowed to be in their lives? You know, and then I'm the one who's supposed to feel privileged. You know, and it's like, you know, no. You should be fucking privileged to have me in your life, and if you ain't, then you know what? Then it ain't reciprocal. You know, because I you know, going my whole life feeling privileged to have these people around in my lives, and then turn up around and realize that they were never there to begin with, right? They were in it for themselves, right? It's like, you know what? Where's my respect? You know, where's my love and respect? And then you go to feeling, you know, well, it's because you're unworthy of it. You're just not worth it. You're not worthy of other people's love and respect because you're flawed in some way. There's something about you that turns people completely off, right? So no matter how close to you they claim to be, no matter how thick the blood is between you, they're not there. There's just nothing there. How horrible is that? Yeah, see, I let my emotions get wrapped up, and they drive me to forget things that I'm talking about or thinking. I feel like I've been tolerated. I feel like the most they've given me, everyone, they as in the fucking world, and that's the world around me, the people that I know, family and friends, that I've been tolerated. New friends and close people, I don't go out of my way to get in contact with them. If they do, then it's because they want to, right? On occasion, I'll reach out, and if I feel like, like they care, then, I'll continue. But for the most part, the new people in my life, we have respect for each other. There's back and forth. They want to be in my life, and they want me to be in theirs, right? I've never really gotten that, from most of the family and friends that I've known over the last 50 some years. It's like I've been tolerated. My presence has been tolerated, like a stray dog that keeps coming around for food. If there's some scraps, go ahead, but if not, ignore it, and it'll go away, It is frustrating. It is pretty frustrating, but you get used to it. It's like pain, you get used to it. Emotional pain. You just get used to getting kicked, It's like going to your brother's wedding, or your very best friend in the world, going to his wedding, and being third or fourth best man down the road, right? Behind the other people, like, okay, it's nice enough just to have been invited, but you know where your place is when you see your lineup. You would think that brother and brother, best man, brother, best friend and best friend, best man, and it just never worked out that way, So when it came time for me to have a wedding and decide who I was going to have stand next to me, I couldn't fucking think of anybody, It was like, let's just get married at somebody's house, just you and me and somebody, because, and there's somebody that I might have asked to be my best man. We'll let him do the ceremony because he's been ordained, right? Let him do it, I don't feel comfortable asking him to be best man at my wedding. I wasn't, just because, gosh, mainly because he was before me. He was close to my brother, I believe, when we were best men at his wedding, right? I was far away from my brother, and my best friend was in between, which showed me how I rated, right? Wasn't even invited because he assumed that I couldn't afford the trip or the tuxedo, and then my best friend paid for it for me. I mean, it's been like that my whole fucking life, coming second, back seat. I never got my own fucking birthday. I had to share my birthday with my brother and then just get whatever he got. I mean, it was like that my whole fucking life. Every step of the way. Second-class citizen. Red-headed stepchild, The middle child blues or whatever, And then you try to talk to them, And they just, fuck, what are you worried about? Man, you're making... They don't see it. They don't want to see it, so they don't see it. They don't even want to take the time or the mental inclination to try to figure out where you're coming from. Their eyes glaze over, their roll back in their head, and they, oh God, here he goes again. You know, poor baby, cry baby. You know, my whole life, you know, struggling with mental and emotional difficulties my entire life. And rather than for somebody to get me help or to try to understand what's going on, they shun me and call me a crybaby and send me off to go deal with it myself. It's like, you know what? I got to a certain point to where I didn't involve anyone in anything that was going on in my head, which started to close me off from the rest of everyone. And then I got to the point in my 20s and 30s where I just didn't want anyone involved with me personally, emotionally, mentally, because they weren't going to try, even make an attempt to try to understand me on my level. So why bother? So it created this chasm between me and everybody else from my past. You know, they weren't going to try, and I wasn't even going to try to even explain it. I wasn't going to even try, because what's the point? Nobody gives a shit. Sure, there were probably a few people in my life who would have given a shit, you know, but I think by the time I found out that those people were available to me, I was unavailable, you know. And I've remained unavailable, you know, for decades. And then over the last 10 years, I've been trying to reach out. And sometimes I reach out and just get smacked, and I reach out again and just get smacked and reach out, you know. And it's like, some people I've just stopped reaching out to because I know where it's going to lead to, you know. I try to have a phone conversation with them, and all they can talk about is, I've got too much work. You know, my work is more important, you know. Or, you know, you can hear them yawning and their eyes rolling back, even on the phone. Or in the text, you can feel their eyes rolling back while you're reading the message, you know. I don't have time for this. So the reunion is to get everybody else together and to just kind of be the facilitator and be able to enjoy everyone's presence. Because I know people aren't going to be coming to the reunion to see me. They're going to be going there to see each other, right? Which will give me the opportunity to see those people. Of course, if between now and then I get to the point to where I just can't physically get out and do anything anymore, I'm not going to want to go to the reunion. I'm going to set it all up and then just bow out, right? And that might happen too. I'll get to where I'll see that it no longer needs me, and then I'll just say, okay, well, here, I created this thing for you guys, so remember me, right? Through that thing that I've created, YouTube and this reunion, hopefully an annual thing, use that to remember. You know, remember that you never really knew me. You know, we had lots of opportunities. I mean, I had lots of opportunities for people to get to know me over like a decade period, and it just wound up being small talk for 10 years, right? Beer drinking talk, partying talk, talking about doing this and this and that, but never really sitting and talking on a personal level, right? There's a lot of missed opportunities, but they're on both sides. You know, we've all missed lots of opportunities to get to know each other. That's a bummer. And the biggest bummer is that if we don't take the last few opportunities that we have to really, you know, catch up and to get to know each other for who we really are, you know. I mean, I want to sit down with each person who comes and talk to them individually. There probably won't be enough time to talk to everyone individually and find out who they are and what's going on in their world and make a connection. I'll be lucky if I connect with my own family, let alone those people who have always meant something to me because of the past that we shared, right? I don't want to miss whatever opportunities we have left. Yeah, sometimes I can get pretty grouchy about all of the missed opportunities before, and people's and people causing that to happen, you know. And I've caused it, but other people have caused that too, and more so on other people's sides because they just look down on me like, oh, that guy, you know. And once again, I feel like, oh, boo-hoo, here's a crybaby, you know. But try to understand where I'm fucking coming from, you know. It's like over 50 years of getting the stink eye from the world, especially from those who are the closest to you, or supposedly, you know. And you get that, what? You know. They look at you like you got 3 fucking heads, you know. The people that I thought that we would always have a connection, we would be sitting on a porch whittling, talking about all of the things that we've done over the past 20, 30 years, right? And that's gone, you know, that just whoosh, evaporated, you know. And I see it as the people moved on from me because they looked down and thought, it's just, he don't fit into my schedule anymore, right? And so people just grow and move on, you know. And yeah, I was stuck in the throes of manic depression for decades, and it was real easy for people to just not understand and to not want to understand and to just pick up and move on. So I got a lot of that, especially from friends and family who just didn't care enough, you know, and didn't even realize that that they were making a conscious choice to just not understand, you know, to just not want to understand, right? So what are you going to do? What are you doing? Not much. So for the past 10 years or so, I have been in chronic pain from my head to my toes, mainly in my spine, my neck, my spine, my extremities that are affected by the spine situation. Not to mention the digestive issues that I've been dealing with my entire life since I was a kid. Mental and emotional pains and anxieties and woes. Current health afflictions that I won't even go into. All of this pain and suffering has taught me that it's been like that my whole fucking life. In one form or another, I've been suffering in pain for my existence. Now, in the 80s and 90s, it led me to suicide attempts, right? It led me to step out in front of buses. It led me to just grab a knife and start hacking on myself. And then it wasn't a cry out because I would hide these things from people. I was too embarrassed for people to know. It wasn't like it was a cry for help because I didn't want anybody to know. You know, if it was a cry for help, people would have known and would have tried to help. But knowing full well that nobody gave a shit, I just hid the fact that all of these things were going on. As do I hide the fact with most people that I'm in a horrible health condition, right? Because you realize that in the long run, nobody gives a fuck. Most people are just wrapped up in themselves so much that the only reason they care about you is because it makes them feel better. you know, and I can't do that. I can't get somebody involved in what's going on with me to make them feel better. It's not going to make me feel better. I don't want to look up from my deathbed and see faces that I haven't seen in 40 years, 20 years, 10 years. Where the fuck were you, you know, last year when I was feeling good and wanted to see it? So, yeah. While I've come a long way mentally and emotionally, the place that I've gotten to is one of anger, right? And cynicism and regret, but mostly anger, you know, anger at those people who like supposedly promised, you know, we'll always be together, man, you know, and then you're constantly reaching out. And then, what's really fucked up is when you're constantly reaching out to those people to try to make a contact, a connection with them, and then they're just taken away, they're gone. And it was like, man, we had all these fucking opportunities, and I kept fucking reaching out, and now you're gone, and now you do this, you know, and that pisses me off, you know. And I'm just going to keep trying to reach out to people, you know, as much as I piss them off by being real, I'm going to keep reaching out, you know. And if you keep smacking my hand away, that's fine, but someday I'm going to be gone, and you're going to have to watch videos to get to know me, you know. I've still got a lot to do and say, you know, and it involves people that I know. And if you're not willing to meet me halfway, you know, then you got to make the whole trip when I'm gone. And, you know, who's going to do that? Nobody. Because I'm just some crazy old fucking weird bearded guy that just turns people off because I get too real, you know. I have too much of a real take on life and the world, you know. So what are you going to do? I wanted much more out of life, but back when I wanted much more out of life, I wanted what I was programmed to want, right? 30 years ago, I was programmed to want, you know, a 5-foot blonde, blue-eyed goddess with a perfect heart-shaped ass and small breasts, and she was going to bear me 3 perfect children, and we were going to live in the perfect house, and I was going to own a lot of properties and have a perfect job and all of this stuff, because that's what I was programmed to want. And then I realized that to get from point A to point B, you had to give up your soul and give up all of those things that you wanted to have just to get them, right? And no. And then you realize that that person that you expected yourself to be with was full of shit, right? And they had no inclination of ever wanting the same thing that you did, even though that's what they convinced you of, right? So I had to come to the terms of my own reality. Was I had to find somebody who could tolerate me and who I could then tolerate. That's it. That's what love is. That's what a relationship, that's what the perfect symbiotic relationship is. Give and take. Can you give as much as they are willing to give, right? Can you both give and take less? Can it be more about giving? Can you get together to give to another? You know? So I had to, you know, and then it took a lot of shoehorning to get all of this to work over the last 20, almost 25 years, right? But we've gotten to a place to where it is exactly what it should be, a symbiotic relationship, the give, the take, the understanding. Even if there's not understanding, there's acceptance and courtesy, you know. We tolerate each other really, really well. You know, that's what love is. That's what marriage is. Working together on everything, on a personal level, together, you know, in a union that I don't see. I don't see how it works any other way, you know. And then of course that's why you see people just divorce or suffering through stuff just because, you know, that's what they've created and they can't give it up because the mortgage and the bills and the cars and the you get yourself locked into something where you have no choice, right? No choice. That's horrible. That's just totally horrible. But, you know, such is life. You know, most of it's pretty screwed up if you let it get to you. I try to stay pretty well detached from the bullshit out in the world, so I try not to let it affect my own reality, you know, and alter my perception of what's going on in my own reality, you know, because that's ultimately that's what society and the world is trying to get you to do, is to conform, to wear a label, to fit into a line, you know. And I got to the point to where I couldn't exist and not lose my fucking mind if I were going to follow that path. You know, I had to follow my own, you know, my own way of thinking, and I can't be a fucking slave. And once you put on that feed bag that says I gotta buy this and buy this and buy this and I gotta have it and I gotta do it all on credit, you sign yourself up for failure, or you sign yourself up for a life of slavery. And I refuse to be a slave, and I'd rather live in a ditch, you know. And we're not far from that, really. I mean, you know, we get the cheapest place we could find, falling apart, cheap bills, cheap rent, just so that when things get hard, you don't have to lose everything. Because when you extend yourself out so far, where every month you're doing the bills and you're just going, oh man, how are we gonna do it? You know, that's not what to fucking live. That's what they want. They want to keep you trapped, right? Modern fucking slavery. That's when credit came about. You know, they abolished slavery here in the United States, and then what do you know? People started buying on credit, and people started having to leave their farms and or go to the city and work there and work these slave factory jobs, you know, just so that you can pay on the family home or buy the crap that they tell you that you need, you know. And it just magnified until we get to now, to where people just, they don't even realize it. They don't even realize that they're modern fucking slaves anymore. It's just so wrapped into their DNA to go out and, yeah, but you have to be a productive member of society, and you have to have a job and a bank account, and you have to do this and this and that and that. No, you don't. We weren't meant to do all of this bullshit. That's all of the shit that's thrust upon us. We were meant to be, you know, free living individuals, being creative, hunters and gatherers and artists and musicians. You know, we weren't meant to sit in fucking offices and factories and slave away making shit for other people so we can buy their shit. You know, give me a fucking break. And then as soon as you fall into that, as soon as you get wrapped up into that, paying those exorbitant bills because you have to have these things, they tell you, well, I have to have the newest iPhone because it just came out. Right? I have to have all of these things because if I don't look good enough to the people I work with. Right? All about image and fucking social media fakery once again. You know? And it's just weak. It's sad. I know there's somebody out there. So hi, how are you this morning? I'm just sitting here on Old Time Radio Wednesday ranting about how things are so different from those people in those old radio shows, you know, how society has totally been corrupted by ad men, politics, religion, bullshit, and people don't even see it anymore. Nope. I gotta warm this up. So if you got a topic, hit me up. Let's talk. Yeah, I got to remember to get out and get some no trespassing signs and beware of dog, and don't worry so much about the owner's gun. Worry about the fact that he's crazy enough to use it, right? Something like that to keep people away from a yard. My wife went out there one day, and the water meter guy was leaving our yard, right? And it's like, who are you, and what are you doing in my yard? Well, I'm reading the water meter. You didn't even knock on the door to get permission? Well, no. Well, we got dogs, man. You're lucky the dog wasn't out there and didn't fucking eat you. And you're lucky you didn't let a dog out, because I would have eaten you, right? So, yeah. So I need to put up some signs, and I need to put on a lock, a latch, that we can open from a secret location, you know? And keep sons of bitches from coming in my fucking yard. Right? How dare you? I don't care who the fuck you are or what kind of badge of authority you think you wear by reading water meters. You ask permission to come into somebody's fucking goddamn backyard, no matter what. And you do it every fucking time. And if there's nobody there, you leave a note. Please read your water meter and send it. They don't realize, of course, that we read the water meter and we send in a photo and the information, you know. So that's going to have to be a sign. Do not come in to read the water meter. We do that. You do not. You got no right to be in my fucking yard. And if you ever let a dog out, intentionally or on accident, I will break you into so many fucking pieces and eat you like cereal. I will pour milk on you and scarf you fucking down, man. I will eat you alive. That's it. I'll scarf your face right off of your fucking head. And that's how I do that. You know, you do not fuck with me or my family or my household. Because the next time you do, you'll be pulling back stumps. You'll be looking at a fucking crypt keeper face because I will have eaten you, you know. Or, you know, I just might go out and get a blood-sucking fucking devil lawyer to eat everything off of you, take you down to the bone, right? Because that's what somebody else would do to me, you know. And at this point in my life, I'll come fucking get you first, you know. You start thinking about coming to get me, and I've got you. Because I'm over it. And, you know, and if I'm going to go to a lawyer, you better look the fuck out. Because I swore I'd never go to an attorney again for any reason, right? But if you fuck with my life, and I can make you pay for it, I'll take everything you got. And that includes the police, the doctors, churches, schools, anybody. You fuck with me to the point to where I can punish you for it, and I'm going to punish you as fucking hard as I can, you know. Yeah. But I guess I've had a history of punishing people in my life, right? And, you know, I guess I have no choice sometimes but to think about survival. And that means, you know, we're done. You know, and that's unfortunate because I never wanted shit like that. You know, but what are you gonna do? You know, keep reaching out and getting your hand smacked. Now I think I know you, so I don't want to talk to you. All right, you don't want to get to know me, but because you think you know me, then that's good enough. Yep. What are you gonna do? Nothing. Yeah. You gotta break a few eggs to make an omelet, you know. And you gotta hurt a few feelings to tell the truth. You gotta you gotta crush some people once in a while, you know, to stand up and say, hey, look, yeah, I can't, no, I can't just keep going along to get along, you know. But I'm also going out of my way to get to know people and to give others the opportunity to get to know me. You know, I don't think I could go out of my way any more than what I've been doing the last couple of years. You know, even though it goes against everything, you know, that I'm being told. Stay away from, don't even, don't get in, no, don't. You know, I have to, you know, I have to try, I have to make an attempt to fill that void, to create a new bridge, you know. But at the same time, I can't just, you know, I gotta listen. They're saying no, so I gotta listen and I gotta take it gingerly. I gotta build that bridge one plank at a time. I can't just let's put a new bridge there and go. It's not. It can't be like that. You know, I would be stupid to do that again, and to be smacked down again. You know, I mean, I get destroyed again, and you know, what the fuck is the point? You know, why would I even try to make an attempt when I know that I'm just going to get shot down again? So therefore, I have to make it a slow, steady attempt that doesn't get me fucked. I love you, but that's just the way it is. You know, I love you. Can I like you again too? That's the thing. You know. Yeah, it's tough being you. Try fucking being me. Put yourself into my shoes. I've been there. I've done that. I put myself into your shoes. I realize what's going on. How, you know, which is why I'm here putting out a hand. You know, if you can't give me the same courtesy and put yourself in my place and realize that I come from a totally different fucking way of thinking than anybody that I know, and if you want to try to make an attempt to understand parts of my thinking, we can forge a relationship, you know. And if you don't want to understand, then change the channel. That's it. Because I'm not gonna, you know, this is my way of going out of my way to make things different, you know. But I can only go halfway, and I can only go as far as I feel comfortable going in my own time, you know. And I'm giving it a year to warm up to the idea of seeing people that I wouldn't normally put myself out there to see, you know. But because there may be people there who I don't want to see, right? I do want to see family and friends and stuff, but there are a couple of people from my past who I probably don't want to see, but I will tolerate their presence and not be a downer, right? Because I owe people the respect and courtesy. That much, right? As does everyone. So, yeah, it'll be leave your bullshit at the door. You know, and I plan on doing that, you know, because I want that back and forth with people who I haven't had the opportunity to have. There are going to hopefully be people coming from out of state that I haven't seen since the 80s, you know, and that's the real. There are people that I've seen in the last 10, 15 years, right, that are going to be there, I know for sure. But there are others that are quite probably going to be there that I haven't seen since the 80s, and I really, really want to spend time with those people. Not so much to catch up on what happened in the last 30 or 40 years, but to just get to know that person, who they are, right? Who they are now. We know about what happened in the past and who we were then and what we did and how, you know, how fun it was, but, you know, we don't know each other. Let's get to know each other. Let's, you know, sit and have a coffee or a beer, smoke a joint or something, and just chill out, you know, split a sandwich and you know, talk shit hanging out on the lake, you know, float around on an inner tube, you know, for a couple of hours with somebody and get to know them, you know. And this channel is the opportunity, you know, for me to do just that, get to know people, for people to get to know me, and have that back and forth if they want to take it that far. You know, most people don't. Most people show up, they kind of go, and they change the channel. And I can dig it. I mean, I don't know that I would watch a lot of my show if I weren't me. Right? If I wasn't as weird as I am, I don't think that I would be into watching any. And I don't rewatch any of my live stuff. I don't go back and listen to what I said or how I looked, or, you know, did I scratch myself too much? I don't. I go, my wife comments on that. Well, you say a lot. It's like, you know, hey, that's just the way it is. You know. So I don't worry about it. I don't wrap myself up in myself, thinking about myself all the time. You know, I just go out and I do it. I don't plan what I'm going to talk about. I don't plan anything. I don't script it. I don't censor myself. I don't think, oh God, this is going to offend someone. If I fuck it, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. You know, if you don't like it, you don't like it. You don't have to like it. You know, you don't have to be offended by it either. You know, but hey, if you are, that's your own problem. You know, bummer. Man, my eyes are like zzz. I think I should smoke more pot because it's getting to that time. Yeah, it's just about time to cut it quits here. And then I don't know, I think I am. I think I'm going to eat a little something, and I think I'm going to crawl right back into bed, put a little TV on, and I think by the time that they're about ready to leave, I'll be about passed the fuck out. And I will try to sleep till about... Now, yesterday, I went to sleep, and I'm like, all right, I set my alarm for noon, right? It went off, and I set my alarm for 1. It went off, I set my alarm for 2. I got up before 2 and set my alarm for 3. I got up before 3 and set my alarm for 4. And then got up at 4:10 after it snoozed and came in here and had my show set up and running by 4:25, you know. And that included making my set list before the show and airing some Walmart or Kmart music and commercials, right? So at some point I'm going to create a pre-show that goes into my show opening and closing and that kind of stuff, so I can just start it at this time, and then at this time I just turn my mic on, it fades out, and I play the next song. That's it. So that'll be fun. I'll be working on that, and that'll be like season 2 of Nighttime. Will have that kind of worked into it, have its own pre-show and opening, and then the end will have the weekly programming tacked onto it, and I'll just create a video where, okay, every week I drop in the weekly program and I save it, and that's my opening for the show. And then I use that for the week, and then at the end of the week I dump that video and I go back to my video editor and I pull the weekly programming out and I put the new one in, save that video, and that's my new opening for the week, right? And I think that's going to be very manageable, right? Just like I post my weekly programming on YouTube and Facebook now, it's manageable that way, and it's easy to find out what's going on here. So, as always, we have reached that point in the day, in the morning, where I am going to say, and get the heck out of here and do some stuff. We're just about ready to install that air cooler, so that'll be cool. I'm going to play some end credits for you and wish you a fond farewell for the morning. We don't want to listen to any of them bars, any of that static stuff there. So yeah, have a great day. I will see you this evening, and you know, be nice, be kind, spread peace and love, and stay weird, people. Love ya. Bye.